Here we go. We're back. Let me get the music back because now I see what's going on. Mm-hmm. Come on. We're back. Refresh.
Nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way.
Welcome back.
I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good.
Get it. Got that people come back over, folks. We're back. Here we go. This is it. All right. Sorry about that. We got to get back in this. Got to let people get a little tuned back into it, but we're about to go on into it. Why have high value men left the church? Men of all stripes have left the church, but high value men in particular. Look in the description, and it says it. Tonight. Where are all the professional black men? Let me turn the light on. Where have all the professional black men gone from today's black church? That's a question. And tonight we're going to have a candid, respectful discussion of a sensitive and emotionally charged topic. That's to say the least. Men of all stripes have left the modern church, the modern black church in particular. It doesn't take a rocket surgeon or brain scientist to see that. However, a man considered to be high valued exited the church long before the rest of men. Why? Tonight we discuss why high value men have exited the church. In a day gone by, men not only were attending church, men were active. Ask anyone, where are all the good women? And they will, without a beat, they'd point and say, you can find the good women in church. Flash forward to today, 20 whatever, and the modern black church is void of men between the ages of 18 and 25, 26 to 50. between the ages of 20, 18 to 50, you don't see any black men. And the black men that are there are usually married, part of the church, or a different lifestyle. Why? Why are so many college educated, professional black women who are self identified as Christians finding themselves unmarried, alone, with no real prospects? And when women like these women look around their local church, they see no men in their demographic. That's what we're going to discuss tonight. That was the lead up to tonight's broadcast, and that's what I want to discuss. Why are so many men exiting today's church? Well, a couple of things I want to start off with is I need you guys to hear a couple of things. Okay? I need you guys to hear a couple of things. Moderators, I need you to be on guard. I got zero tolerance of BS or foolishness tonight. If people are coming in here to troll and bash black women or women in general, black women in particular, or bash Christians or whatever, they get timed out. And when I see you time them out, I will look at it and I will decide whether or not they're going to be blocked. This is not going to be one of those things where you just come over here and talk shit about the black church. You're not just gonna come over here and I'm an atheist and I'm gonna crap all over black people. No, I will ban you forever. You get no warning, zero tolerance. If I see you talking crazy about the church or the women in the church, you are gone. Make it clear. If I see you talking crazy about the church or women in the church, you are gone. Time out for all this. There's no way to have a discussion if you just think you can come in here and let me pee all over the place. Nope. Not gonna happen. So, I want you guys to hear something before we get started. Never going to be hard on. I'm always going to be the country to look at her men differently than other women. Black men do not get the level of respect.
That
Uh,
they deserve. I agree.
right. Even.
Actually not. I'm just
Oh, tell me you
surprised
find.
that,
But okay. 32-year-old psych major. How can you use that to your advantage?
oh,
Let me
I do
start
use
that
it to
again.
my advantage. Yeah, I'm that 32-year-old lawyer who was a psych major.
Uh
So
oh. See, like I'm ready for you, boy. Please tell me you
no, I'm
fine.
actually not. I'm just
Oh, tell me you
surprised
fine.
that,
But okay, 32-year-old psych major. How can you use that to your advantage?
oh, I do use it to my advantage.
Oh, tell me.
So, I mean, I did very well in law school. I went to a quote unquote prestigious law firm.
Okay. I
I
guess what I
turned,
mean. How can you use that for? How can you use that well? And because I'm assuming you are well professionally. I'm talking about personally.
yes.
I'm talking about personally. How can
Well,
you use it to your advantage personally?
I think it's problematic when dating to be a lawyer because I think people automatically assume that I'm going to be argumentative
Mm-hmm.
when I don't really want to argue in my personal life.
Okay.
In other words,
I get
I'm
it.
pretty, I leave work at work.
Right. So,
I feel like,
go ahead.
I feel like there is kind of like a stigma, like you said, around professional Black women and the thought of being independent or
Is it deserve it?
quote unquote don't need a man.
Is
I
it
think
deserve?
there,
Or is
well, I
it? Do you
think,
think it's earned or not?
wait, I didn't hear what you said.
Do you think it's deserved, earned, or not?
Um,
Do you think it's unfair?
I think it's unfair. I do think it's unfair.
Okay. Do you watch the TV? Do you watch the HBO series Insecure,
Yes,
made by a black woman, right?
yes,
And
and
then her. Hold on.
I
Hold on.
understand
Hold on. Hold on.
Molly.
Hold on. Hold on. But she wrote a black female lawyer the exact way I'm talking about. Then you go back to what is it? The TV show Suits. and they wrote a
Right.
black woman the very way I'm talking about, right? It's not as though they didn't write these people because they wanted the audience to not resonate with this. It's because that's what they see. So what I'm asking you is how can you turn this on its head to get what you want? Oh, let me back up. Do you want to be married?
Yes, of course.
I don't know. Some folk don't. So you're not. So your non-black female counterparts who are psychology majors and attorneys, are they stuck? Are they doomed to being single?
I don't think so.
All right, then why should black women be? What are they doing different?
Mm, I think that, well, I can only speak for myself.
Okay.
So I can't really speak for Black women as a whole, but I think that growing up, I focused so much on school and
Mm-hmm.
accomplishing professional goals that I kind of let my personal life fly by the wayside. And as a
Yes.
result of that, I wake up now and
Guys, we got to get the likes up. We got almost 2,000 people in the building. We only have 500 likes. I'm giving you 15 seconds to go hit the like button because we don't keep the engagement over 50%. I will shut us down for intermission. Come on, hit the like button.
I'm 32 and no real, in my opinion, real prospects. And I just realized that I didn't put as much effort into making sure my personal relationships prospered.
Mm-hmm. I need you guys to pay attention to what the sister just said because this is the crux of the argument. I'm going to rewind that. And that.
I wake up now and speak for myself.
Okay.
So I can't really speak for Black women as a whole, but I think that growing up, I focused so much on school and
Mm-hmm.
accomplishing professional goals that I kind of let my personal life fly by the wayside. And
Yes.
as a result of that, I wake up now and I'm 32 and no real, in my opinion, real prospects. And I just realized that I didn't put as much effort into making sure my personal relationships prospered.
Mm-hmm. And that.
So I don't necessarily.
So one thing that we could do, one thing that women could do, is to tell other women, "Hey sis, don't raise your daughters to think this way. Raise them to think like Becky and Mylene and Marisol. When they were in college, they went to go to law school too, but they also went there to get a husband. They weren't taught to put career first. They were taught to put marrying well first. Could we do that? Because that's what we saw. I mean, I went to college, and that's what I saw my white counterparts do. I saw white women going to law school, but they was married while they was in law school. Did you see that?
I agree with that. I mean, my roommate, my white roommate.
Hey, right.
I mean, she was there
Where do we see
finding a
black women
husband.
doing that? Where do we see black women like you doing that?
Um, I just think it's the INDEP.
Right. I get what it was. I get what it was. But so I'm assuming that you don't see black women anywhere doing that because I don't.
No, I don't.
So that could be something black women like yourself could start talking about when you're at the hair salon, like the previous caller, 2 callers back, right? To stop to instead of talk about independent, talk about yeah, go to law school, go to college, girl. Make sure you got your husband by the time you get to your junior year, so you in law school and you got your hit squad dude. Start pushing that kind of stuff to where sisters don't become like yourself, hell of accomplished, and then unattached out here. That's right. I need you guys to understand something. That sister was straight up cold. My hat's off to the sister for coming up and saying the honest truth that I and women like myself are good, decent women. And we did what we were told to do. We went to school. We were told not to worry about no man, not to think like that you didn't need a man. And they didn't necessarily grow up hating men, but men just were not a priority. Men, they weren't told that they needed a husband. Matter of fact, they were told to be independent. So she went to school and achieved at the highest levels. She didn't even just go to high school. She went to college. She just going to college. She into law school, graduated from law school, passed the bar, and became an attorney. Anywhere else, that will be prized and heralded. And then she looked up, and then when she finally dawned on her, she was 32 years old, that life is more than this. See, I think a lot of men, you gotta understand where the women are coming from that are coming to this channel on this platform. A lot of times you want to put these women in the man hating, such and so forth. A lot of women just simply did not know.
So what about in your personal life? Because that happens to a lot of Black women. They are career driven. They get out here, accomplish, and then they look up and they're 27 to 35 unattached. What are some of the things that you're starting to do to kind of help?
Who is this person? I'm calling you out. E Smooth the God. I don't know what kind of name you call that. No, that grew up hating men. You're gonna have to stand on that. When I open the call lines, you're gonna have to call in and stand and approve what you're saying. Because you sound like a child. But I'll give you an opportunity to be a man and stand on it.
Close that gap.
Well, I do go to therapy.
Good. Good.
Regular counseling sessions.
Yay. Yay for therapy. Go ahead.
And I think just focusing more on my personal life and not worrying about billing our work and developing a professional network, trying to enhance my personal network.
One of the things I talk about on my channel is if Black women like yourself put the kind of energy into building their own network and their own social life as they put into getting their credentials and in their career, they'd be some of the happiest married women on the planet. But like you say, it takes active work. Are you in a major city?
Yes.
All right. Do you? Crazy. Do you go to church?
I do.
Cool.
I am a Christian.
Cool. Are you? Do you go to like? Do you do any charity work? Not for profit.
I do. I sit on a lot of boards and.
Okay.
College, law school, attorney, church, active in the community, and in therapy. What else can you ask for, brothers? I know you want to come in here and hit them all with the same stick. But again, if you want women to come in and start having these conversations, the men who say they want women to be better or do better, gotta give them air cover. You cannot keep coming in here saying, well, yeah, but she's not like them. I don't give a shit. Talk about the one that's talking now. Some of you sound just as bad or just as upset as the women who call in here talking about all the other men, but when I get specific on them, they start going to everyone else. We are the men. It is our charge to lead. So if you're not a Christian, do me a favor. You might want to play the back in this conversation because I'm coming at this from a standpoint higher than just male-female social dynamics in nature. Being a Christian is something on top of that. Again, I'm trying to let people come at this, but guys, I need you to fall way the hell back in this conversation. Unless you are in this conversation.
Active with my law school.
All right. So you got the alumni stuff too. So cool. Now, as far do you find it? Where do you find it's easiest to meet the kind of men you're talking about that you would want to be with, or are you having problems with that?
Professional settings.
Okay.
In professional settings, when my mind is telling me to be about business, but
right
for the most part.
Have you ever considered working
that I'm
with?
interested in professional settings?
Have you ever considered working with an image consultant and a matchmaker?
So now, as this goes on, she talks about that she's when she tries to find men that she's interested in, it's in a professional setting, and she's balancing between being attracted or interested in a man and doing business. And guys, that's not a good place to be in because you need to keep your mind focused on business. A few more minutes of this, and we're going to go on to the
I have
part
not.
two, and then get into the call.
Those are two things that professional women like yourself are missing the boat on. Because you can go to all the professional settings and all the groups and everything else, but it's still like it's the roll of the dice. And you're 32. Did you say 32 you were?
Yes.
So it's like you don't have the time you had as you were 22. So an image consultant can help you make sure that your image is working for you personally and professionally. Like I have a group on YouTube, on Facebook called The Mix.
I just joined. I'm waiting on your approval.
Okay, well, and I'm going through each one. I'm handpicking everybody because I'm not dealing with any BS from men over there or women. But see, let's just be real. White women, they got no problem working with matchmakers and image consultants. They will take 20 grand and go to secure a Blake Henry. They got no problem with it. I'm not gonna
Yes.
get all into the height, weight, dress size, but the the closer you are to the ideal height, weight, and dress size, the better that works for you. The better you look out there, the better it looks for you just in the real world. But an image consultant can help you look good online, on LinkedIn, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, everywhere you go, your digital footprint. You never know when guys like my guys are looking at you. Number one, number two, matchmakers. Why are they valuable? Because men like my boys, they don't go out in the world looking for wives. They go to matchmakers because they don't have time to play games. They're like, I'm ready to get married. I'm gonna go drop this 5, 10, 15, maybe up to $50,000 to get me 8 or 9 matches, and they go from there. Use all of it to your advantage. Consider the image consultant and matchmaker in addition to what you're already doing. So, ladies, understand: don't do either or. Do and. Give yourself the best shot. What do you think about that?
That's something I never considered, but I will give it thought.
Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and let Sarah come in. Do you have anything else you want to add in before we put you out? Before you go back to waiting room?
Nope. Thank you
Well,
for your time.
I will see you, and I'm gonna check you.
See, women, this is the woman I'm talking about. This is the sister that the show is built around. Now, this sister is already getting therapy, which is kudos to her, you know. But again, brothers, the men who I need you to understand, who I'm about to stand in the gap for, but I gotta hold us on a charge. That's the best case scenario we could ever hope to ask for. A woman who turns around and says something's not working, is proactive enough to go start working on herself, and then come out looking for men like you and me and guys over here. We got to welcome those women in with open arms and say, come on, come on, here, have some water, sit on that. Yeah, we got it. You home base, you're safe here. We got it. But that's the best case. 5% of women may even meet that. The other ones, they just got to turn this direction. See, we always want the best case, but then you can't get mad when women always want the best case than us. When they always want the best case. Oh, see, I thought it was going to come in and I was going to slap the crap. Again, this is a different level conversation. All right. So how did we get here? We got here a lot of different ways. But again, I'm going to play this conversation and have little excerpts from this too. And again, it's not about the person. The people in these conversations, we're all avatars to people we know in the Black community.
To where she can go ahead and make a change.
This when I get
Oh,
wrong.
sorry
No
about
problem.
that.
No
So,
problem. Yeah, man, you're breaking up. Can you get?
Kevin,
Hey,
Mr. Samuel, sorry, can you hear me?
I can now. What you got for me, sis? When I get
Oh,
wrong.
sorry. Sorry
No
about
problem.
that.
No
So,
problem.
I feel like you're spot on from what you told the young lady earlier, and that's what I was trying to explain to Sarah. I'm pretty new. Y'all asked me to come up on the panel the other day, um,
Okay.
but I decided to go ahead and come up today. And I was trying to explain to Sarah that sometimes people just need someone to be a straight shooter,
Mm,
and I hopefully that lady was young enough to where she can go ahead and make a change.
all right. Well, I mean, I don't think I don't have any malicious intent.
Right.
And I'll put it this way: I'm a cancer survivor. And when I got my diagnosis back, one of the first questions I asked him was uh, the remission rates and the prognosis. And I respect them that they didn't lie to me because you got to make real choices. And the situation that she was in, well, we're all in. Is that we don't if we have the information, the truth, then we can make choices. So
Oh,
that's what it is. So
well,
thank you.
congratulations to you. God bless you for going through that.
So what's your name in the chat room was what? Is it
Tiffany
Tiffany
Chanel.
Tiffany Chanel? Okay, okay. I saw
Mhm.
people talking to you the
I'm
other
the
day.
one that came in the chat, and I was so excited about the topic of being over 30 and
Mm,
and
mm.
single, and yeah, that was me.
So are you over 30?
I am.
Are you looking to get married yourself?
I've been married. Currently, I'm not looking to get married.
Are you looking for an LTR? Long term
What's that?
relationship? Long term relationship?
Oh, not currently. I'm currently not looking for a long-term relationship, but I'm open to friendship, and if that leads to a long-term friendship, that would be great.
Now that is curious to me. I'm gonna tell you why I'm curious.
Okay.
As a divorcee myself, there was a cooling off period.
Hmm.
Uh, but most women I know don't want to die alone.
Yeah,
Are we saying that you just want to go through the rest of life unattached?
that's a good question. I don't think I'm saying the rest of life unattached. I just think um, I'm finally able to focus on other things outside of relationship.
Okay.
Things that are important to me, my career, um, my household, my daughter.
Stop it right here. And shout out to Miss T. Good peoples. But this is part of the problem. It's either or in the black community. You're either in a relationship or you can have a life. This whole thing about I'm focusing on not for her, but like relationship impedes us from living. Every other race of people can do it all at the same time. Are we saying that black people, are we honestly trying to say that we can't do both? No, that's not the issue. We don't know how to do relationship well. We don't know how to do relationship well because we don't partner well. And even the people in the Christian church who are supposed to believe higher than everybody else, we have a problem partnering because we have become all about us. Prosperity preaching, prosperity gospel invaded the Christian church along the early 90s and things went haywire. Because only our sisters go to church and think that their degree makes them better than us. Other people and they've had this backed up through the culture and through the gospel. So now when we find this to where you find supposedly good Christian men, good Christian women, but they can't live good Christian lives together. There should be little conflict in the Christian household because you both have something that's written down, a higher power in 2,000 plus years of history to give you the roadmap. Before 1964, black people were married at a rate of 80%. We were church going, God fearing people.
And
Okay.
so, yeah,
How old is your daughter?
my daughter will be 4 in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Um, well, everybody comes to it at a different point. But one thing I would love to hear more black women
be able to do
Hmm.
is to be able to have healthy relationships. Because here's what I hear more often when I hear from black women,
Hmm.
or women in general, black women in particular. When I ask you if you want to be in a relationship, it's still comparing it against the negative versus the positive, what it can be. I mean, you got a 4 year old, and you may have a great career, but it's always easier in life to go through it with support, help. So why not have support, help, healthy, happy relationships versus
Oh, since we talk about church, on past collection plate. Thank you, Ike, for the donations, but do your part. We got 3,000 people in here. We have like 3 people that donated. You guys have asked for this show. I asked you what topic you wanted. I gave you the show you wanted. There you go. Hit the like button, hit the super chat button, hit the cash app, do something because again, this is on top of what you've already asked for. Come on now, but I get it. You're not expecting a Sunday show. You're a little excited, like, oh, you forgot. All right, here's the time. Go ahead, support the program.
nothing?
That's actually a beautiful point. My parents have been married for 48 years. My grandparents were married for over 65 years
Do you want
before
that?
they transitioned, and
Do you,
they're happy, and it's beautiful.
do you
And
want
I
that?
think, oh, so if if that exists for me,
See,
yes.
see,
But if
see,
it does
see. There it
not,
goes. There it goes.
that's okay.
Okay, okay. There it goes. You came from 65 years and 48 years. If it exists for you,
Mhm.
why if you come from 65 and 48, why would it not exist for you?
No, meaning if it exists for me,
I know.
it
Why would
exists
it
for
not
them.
exist? I know. That's why I said, why could it not exist for you?
I think, whatever God's plan is, I- I'm I want to be that person that's open to what God has for me and not try to chase after something.
Okay, so are you a Christian?
Thank you for being honest, sis, because this is not about her. This is about a lot of our women. If it's for me, as if God has changed. As if the way so many women in the church today speak as though God has changed. Yeah, my grandparents and my great grandparents and my parents, they could have it, but I don't know if it's for me. And if God is, and if it's, and that's BS because in the scripture, your complete purpose, oh Jesus, hold on, save it, Sam, save it. Ladies, you'll be able to call in. We're going to talk about this tonight because so many women need to realize that so many Keith Henrys, so many Marks, that's another high value man, so many uh, great guys, great regular guys, that's my Greg, so many above average guys, that's Aaron, so many men right there are looking for wives. Let me say this to the black women who are paying attention. Black men want to be married. Forget what you heard. I work with an average of 3 men a day for years. Black men in mass, oh, not just older. I've had guys as young as 18 and guys as old as 68. 99% of them want to be married. So let me tell you, this knowledge that black men don't want to be married is a lie. It is a lie from the pit of hell. Black men want to be married, they just can't find the ladies they want to marry. More on that in a minute.
I am.
Are you a practicing Christian?
When you say practicing, what do you mean?
Are
Like,
you living? Are you living in accordance to the Christian? Are you living by the Bible?
yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right.
Now,
So
am I perfect?
no, I mean
No,
none
only
of us are
Christ is.
perfect. None of us are
Yeah.
perfect. But I ran the singles ministry in 3 churches I was in,
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, and there's nothing in the Bible where God has anything about a spouse. This is a natural choice.
Okay.
In the black community, we put this off as a spiritual matter. Like I'm living I have a show about 3 weeks ago where I had a woman. I actually know her pastor,
Hmm.
and she kept on talking about how she's a good Christian woman, and And I asked her, and at the end of the day, go back and watch the show. It's actually highlighted.
Okay.
Oftentimes, black women get to a point to where I'm just being honest. You don't believe it's possible. I don't believe it's possible. It was what your grandparents and your parents had. That time is over. The world is different. So now God is my husband.
Oh no, that's not if
I say
nah.
I'm not saying you.
It,
I'm saying oftentimes that becomes black women because
oh no. Yeah, that's not good.
well, no, that's why I said if 65 years and 48 years you have good role models. The
Hmm.
world has not changed. Human beings are still the same.
Yep.
And I hate this. I hate to hear when people have had bad experiences and to think, well, I'm just going to leave it in God's hands. God don't work that way, sis. That has never been God's way. Marriage is a natural choice because if it worked that way, then God would be responsible for your. Were you married? Were you married to your daughter's father? Her daughter's father? Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now. So,
I said, were you
yes,
married to your daughter's
we were
father?
married.
Okay,
Yes.
so if it worked the way you're talking, God would be responsible for your divorce.
I think man has their own will, man and woman,
Right.
mankind.
So great. So saying work. So what you're saying is not. Then that contradicts it. You're waiting for what God has for you, but then you say man and woman have their own will. That
Hmm.
means
God has his God has his perfect will for your life.
right, but
Um,
none of that has to do with picking a spouse.
I think that has to do with everything.
No, you can think that, but there's nothing in the tenets of Christianity. You sit down with your pastor, and I'm if he's actually went to seminary, he'll tell you you have an incorrect interpretation of the gospel. Man, I taught for many years in singles ministry, and I was been married. That's an incorrect interpretation that oftentimes black women have.
To the guy just put on the chat room. High value men lose value when they remain in church. First off, that's BS. First off, you're going to have to come up and stand on that. Are you a high value man yourself? If you are, then I expect you, when I open the chat room, to come in and stand on that. Because high value men are in every other church, except the black church. I won't allow you to come in here and say shit like that either.
Marriage is a natural choice, not a spiritual.
Marriage is a choice. I do believe that in
Yes.
every aspect of your life, God has his perfect will for you. That's in your
Mhm.
career.
Does he have his perfect will for Adam and Eve?
He did. And then they
Did
made a
Adam and
choice.
did they have their own? Did they have their own will?
Absolutely. And
Did they
he's
act in
not going to
accordance with it?
override your will.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So
I
when we
think we
put
agree, Kevin. We
well, what
agree.
we agree up to the point to where
Or
we
Mr.
put
Samuel. Sorry, I don't know
no,
what
no,
you
no,
want me to
Kevin is
call you.
cool. We agree to the point to where we push this off onto God's perfect will for us. That is where I wholeheartedly disagree, and that is where you first came. I said, "What about this?" And you said, "I'm going to let God have it in His time." No, man, that's not how it works.
I guess my goal is I don't want women to think that if they're not getting a man, it's something always wrong with them. Sometimes it's just their choice.
That's BS. I call complete BS on this. And Christian women, you're going to have to stand and speak on this one. I don't want women to feel bad as if they don't have a man. Oh, but you're Christian. And your choice can be wrong. And you should feel good about a wrong choice? No, not as a Christian.
And that's okay.
Okay,
It's not
well,
okay.
if you're
None
a
of this shit's
Christian,
okay.
what is a woman's purpose?
I believe a woman and a man's purpose is to serve and honor the Lord with their lives.
Okay, I asked a very specific question.
Hmm.
You're a Christian. What is a woman's purpose?
A woman's purpose is to serve the Lord with her life,
That is not
how
a
she
woman.
lives her
That
life
is not a woman's.
honoring God.
That is not a woman's purpose, according to
Okay.
Christianity or the Bible. It's very clear. A woman's.
And this is where we start to get off the rails. Not wanting women who are not wanting women to feel bad. I'm sorry. That is not the real world, ladies. In Christianity or outside of Christianity. Not wanting you to feel bad has put you in the position right here to where no one can tell you the truth. You live in a PC world, but the thing is, people still act even though they don't speak. And the people who don't want you to feel bad don't mind if you live bad.
Are you
That's just
talking about submitting to husband and
no. A
husband
woman's
submit
purpose is
to?
to be helpmeet to man. Your
Oh, be
purpose
the
is
helpmate.
your
Okay,
purpose. Your a
I
woman's
understand that.
okay. So in the simple terms, a woman's purpose is man in Christianity. You have no purpose without a man here. If you did, God could have easily created Eve before Adam. God gave Adam the commandments and he put him in charge of the garden. He spoke to Adam. Did God ever speak to Eve?
Adam was in authority, so he spoke to Adam. Correct.
Right.
Eve
So,
was the helpmate. He pulled her from his
exactly.
rib so that
So
she could
you
walk
said you
side
don't
by
want
side
women
with
to
him.
think you don't want women to think that you don't want women to think opposite of what it is you say you believe.
No, I don't want women to think that there's something wrong with them always. There can be things.
Don't want women to think that there's something wrong with them always. This is part of the mindset to why high value men have left the church. After the videos, I'm going to tell you why high value men exited church long ago and why more guys are following suit. High value men peeped this out and said, deuces.
That are wrong, but it's not always that it's something wrong with the woman, and it's not always that there's something wrong
Well,
with the
ma'am,
man.
but the thing is, hold on, but this whole wrong, what is a woman's purpose on the planet? Okay, how about this? How about this, Nicole? Tiffany, can a woman
Yeah.
survive on the planet by herself?
Well, I've seen it happen.
Where?
So
Where?
if you
Where?
asking for,
Where? 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 Where?
I've seen single women live and be single until they're older and
Hold
they
on, hold
they
on. So let's
transition.
stop. You've seen a woman take care of and provide for herself.
Yes,
Did she build her own shelter?
yes, built her house.
She built her own home.
Hmm.
Did she actually run the plumbing to that home?
Oh, I see. Like hiring people, or did she run the plumbing?
Come on,
I don't
Tiffany.
know.
What I'm
She may
saying,
have hired a
what I'm
plumber.
saying. That's why I asked you very definitely. See, oftentimes women use Christianity as convenient, convenient Christians. A woman's purpose is a man. No two ways about it. Women cannot survive without men. You're not physically capable. You don't have the strength. Your body's not built for it. You cannot do it. So to say women can survive without men is telling women the wrong thing. And as a Christian, that's why I asked if you're a Christian, you're actually telling women something that goes opposite to what you say you believe.
Do you think a woman should enter in a relationship and stay if a man is abusive?
You can't make this up. Smoke screen, I mean, gaslighting, smoke screening, deflection, going to the extreme. There was nothing in the conversation about that. But in order to make a point, you got to reach this far. Understand? You've lost the debate when you go this far. The thing that's after this comes ad hominem.
What does that have to do with Christianity?
My point is that some women have had this
Well,
happen?
okay, but
Do we
Tiffany,
tell her to stay with a
Tiffany,
man because that's her
due
purpose?
respect, Tiffany, I could pull out. We could go that tit for tat all night. We really could.
Next week, we're going to have a show about abuse because we have to talk about this because a lot of women will bring up abuse or abuse as a justification for why women do what they do. And you're talking about physical abuse. But there's also another kind of abuse, emotional abuse. Uh oh. Uh oh. Battering somebody with the words and using and manipulating their feelings. Who's really abusing who in relationships these days? Oh, Snapple Dapple.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be. I
What
just
I'm
don't
not
want
okay
women to think something's
what
wrong.
I'm not okay with is Christian women telling women that they don't need a man. I'm not okay with that. If you're a Christian woman and you say you're living according to the Bible, then there's no way you can say that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say, oh, you don't need a man, do everything by yourself. What I'm saying is, don't feel bad and feel like you're doing something wrong if you're currently not with a man. It's okay. Maybe one day, but maybe not today. And it's
Maybe
okay.
one, but okay, but
Don't want you to feel bad if you're not with a man. Yes, as a Christian, there's nothing in the Bible that says makes that provision. Where do we get this from? Prosperity preaching. There are there are defined things. Yes. Let me say one thing, ladies. Yes, she's right. If you're not with a man, there's no problem. But what man are you currently under submission? What is the man in authority over you while you're unmarried? See, that's what's not there. See, when you're in your father's house, he has authority. And then when you pass over to your husband, he has authority. But what about the part where you're uncovered? You should be in authority to somebody. If you're a Christian, see, we're about to get into it tonight.
okay, maybe one day, but maybe not today. But who is that woman under? Who is she submitting to?
Well, she needs to be submitting to the Lord.
Right. But if who's covering that woman when she's by herself? Because her father because here's how
The
you
angels.
and you know what? And the extension of God is my husband. See, no matter how you slice it, that's still your position.
Well, I
And
think
this
God
is
is
this
my
is
everything.
well,
God is
that's
my
fine, but he is
everything.
but see, this is not. But even T.D. Jakes, he used to get angry with with the members of his church because too often women were taking this bastardization of Christianity and actually making this a problem. You know often T.D. Jakes actually said in the church, "Do not go quote me in your house to your husband." And how
Yeah, I
often
love Bishop Jakes.
well,
He's
exactly, and
he's
how
awesome.
often women misinterpret the scripture because it's not your place. See, if you're a Christian woman, you know your purpose is a man. Everything God has told you is in conjunction with a man. So what you're saying is opposite to Christianity. That is worldly. That's why I asked you initially, are you a Christian living according to the tenets? And you're
I
not.
am.
But you can't be and hold these positions. You're living you're living in opposition to God's will for man and woman. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Go ask your pastor. Go ask
My
anybody.
dad is my pastor.
Okay,
Her dad.
and what does he tell you?
So we're raised in a house where it's husband and wife, and
Exactly.
my mom is his helpmate.
Okay,
So
but
yeah, my
what is your
dad.
what does he tell you a woman's purpose is?
Yeah, so I see people saying that I'm using God as an excuse, and
I don't care about the
that's
chat
not my
room. Tiffany,
heart's
look at
desire, and I didn't come on here for that.
Tiffany. Don't look at the chat room. You and I are
Yeah, I
having a
didn't
conversation.
come on here to be
Well,
bashed. I
but
came on
who are
here
you? Hold
because
on,
I
Tiffany.
appreciate your
Who is
platform.
bashing? Tiffany, listen.
Deflection.
You've not been bashed by me. Don't look at the chat room. You and I are having a conversation that can benefit women. Have I been disrespectful to you?
No, not at all.
Have I been rude to you?
No.
So what do
No,
you?
I
There's
don't
nothing to.
think you're a rude person. I listen to
So
what you
what
say
I'm
to the ladies,
saying,
and I believe you're trying to help them.
what I'm saying is you focus here. And all I'm doing is questioning what it is you say because let me tell you the problem I have with some of the things you said. Far too often, black women are uncoupled because of a misunderstanding of Christian doctrine. And that's why I asked, what does your pastor say? Because if you're a Christian, you're supposed to be in submission to someone, a
Yeah.
father, a husband, even in a holding, the men of the church somewhere. Women are
My
not.
my pastor says that a man should not be without a wife, and that the
And
wife is to be the helpmate, and that the wife is to submit.
A man should not be without a wife. Well, here's the problem with that. When men go looking for wives, they go looking for ladies and they can't find ladies to be their wives. A big part of the reason why men have left the Christian church or the modern church is because men are very practical. If a man needs to go find these, if a man needs to go buy a tire, he doesn't go to the paint store. He goes to the tire store. We go looking for things that we need where they should be. And when men go are looking for a wife, it's different than guys running around here out in the streets looking for a good time. And for years gone by, men have been directed to the church to find where wives are. But they're not finding wives, they're finding rebels. They're finding the kind of women, this is where the best women are supposed to be, and they're still finding worldly things there. So, yes, to the person who put a super chat and said, I doubt that 95%, I didn't say 95%. I said the majority. And the majority of men do want to be married. And the majority of any group wants to marry their own group. See, some of you RP, going your own way dudes, you can't even deal with your own facts, data, statistics. Just say it ain't working for you. But it still works. 2019 marriage was at a 50 some odd year high in this country. 2019 marriage was up for the first time in close to 60 years. Since 1990, divorce rates have been cut in half in this country, except for in the black community. It's still on a downward trajectory. Learn your own information.
To the husband, and the husband also submit to the
but you
wife, because the
said you
Bible
don't want
says
women to
submit to
think
one
that there's
another.
something wrong with her if she's not with the man, and that's just.
Because I think there's a lot of pressure.
And let's get back to it. Kevin, you did say 99. And if I did, so freaking what? Are you guys serious? Black people, we love to play gotcha. Oh, well, you didn't say this word right. You wonder why you're alone. Wonder why so many of us can't get along with each other. Rebellion. Antisocial leanings. We got people in this same room that would like to be like anywhere else. Men and women can get together and kind of sort themselves out. Over here, we still want to fight. Well, guess what? I'm done with the fighting. Fight elsewhere. If you want to fight all the time, I'm not your place. This is not your place. If you want to fight all the time, I'm not trying to hear all the fighting. There are plenty of other platforms, and go enjoy. Leave with my blessing. No heat, no judgment. I don't care about the fight all the time. Because fighting, you can't fight and build at the same time. Men cannot build and fight at the same time. You either have a wartime economy or a peacetime economy. You either mobilize for war and make implements of war, tanks, guns, bullets. When you're on a wartime footing, you don't have a peacetime economy. And a peacetime economy looks one way. A wartime economy looks another way. Which one do you want? You cannot have a mix just because you can't get on board with the fact that you need harmony to proceed.
On
As it
individuals, women
should
and
be.
men.
As it should be. If you're a
And I
Christian,
think
hold on,
sometimes,
ma'am.
Mr.
Hold on, ma'am.
Samuel,
Hold on, ma'am.
okay,
As it should be, if you're a Christian, you don't have to be a Christian. We chose to be Christians, and we don't get to select the parts of the doctrine in the Bible we choose to follow. That is a new thing with all this prosperity preaching. Everything I've asked you, ma'am, 65 years with your grandparents, 48 years with your parents. Your father is your pastor. And every question that I've asked you to actually get you to define something, you've slid away because you didn't want to answer specifically what you and I both know to be the truth that you say you
Well,
believe.
no, I answered to you what my dad has said as my pastor. And he did say that man should not live without a wife, and the wife should submit to the
So
husband
I'm
should
sure.
submit.
So I'm sure when you and your ex chose to divorce, he probably also counseled you both,
Hmm.
and he counseled you on divorce.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
But we
But
also had other
I,
Christian counselors outside the
but
church too.
ultimately, I asked you earlier, do you want to marry a long-term relationship?
And remember, this is not about Sister Tiffany. This is not about her. We just had one of the best conversations on the topic. But you can interchange any of us, and this thing still works.
And at the end of the day, man, what it really comes down to, it is a dangerous thing to tell women that you don't need men, because what it is what you're saying. You do need us. You
I
need
don't
us.
think I would tell a woman that she doesn't need a man. What I would
Well,
tell a woman is not to feel, don't come down on yourself if you're not yet married. I'd say the same thing to a man. Don't come down on yourself if you're not yet married.
okay, but who? Okay, if you're not yet married,
Hmm.
but is there a clock on that?
So I think with a biological clock for men and women, it could be because if a woman doesn't have her baby by the age of 35, 36, she's considered high risk. If a man doesn't have his child by his mid 40s, he's considered high risk.
Okay, let me
He
ask
can.
you.
That was completely inaccurate. I asked, you don't want men or women to come down. What you're really saying is you don't want women to come down on themselves if they're not married. You just threw men in there to try to add some balance. That's not really what a lot of women like this believe. It's about women. As you will see as this goes on, it's about women, not about men. But good form. But then I said, okay, you don't want to come down on themselves if they're not yet married. But at what point? At what point should women come down on themselves if they're Christian? That's why I said, is there a clock on this? And she went to a biological clock for reproduction. There is no biological clock on a man. We can still reproduce until the equipment stops working. She knows that. She knows that.
Let me
Actually
ask you a
produce a
very
child
defining
with.
question about marriage. Why?
Sure.
What is the purpose? Why do we marry?
Well, you marry to reproduce, to bring children into the world, to raise them in the admonition of the Lord.
That's one reason. But what else?
I would think to raise productive citizens in society,
Okay.
to keep your seed, to keep your legacy going.
Right. So you can. So you can do none of that as an individual. Certainly can't do anything as an individual Christian.
Oh, it looks like people are saying, why am I up here if I'm talking about other people?
I don't
Because
care
that's
about.
all I.
Could you please stop looking at? See, I don't
Okay,
understand
sorry.
why you are doing that. I mean, I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and I'm not looking there, and it's my show. Well, it
Okay,
sounds as though you're more
I'll respect
concerned.
that. Let me hide the chat.
How about
Let me just
that?
hide them.
How
Okay.
about you just because what you see? We're Christians. We chose to be that. So I cannot sit there and say I agree that you're saying that a woman should not feel bad that she's not married or whatever. At some point, you
Hmm.
need to have a husband if you're a Christian. Your
Yeah, I mean, the
purpose,
Bible says that,
your
right? The
purpose.
Bible
Yes,
says a man
because
should not live without a wife. A woman
exactly.
should not
So
live
so we
without a
so
man.
what
That's
we
in the
say. So
Bible.
what we're saying.
This is what I just said. If you're a Christian at some point, you should have a wife. If you're a Christian at some point, you should be married. It's in the Bible. Man should not, but we have made it to where that's just optional now.
So what you ultimately said is you didn't want women to feel something wrong. There is something wrong if you're a Christian and don't have a husband. At some point, you don't. A
I
woman.
just don't want people
It
to
doesn't
come
matter,
down on
ma'am. You're a
themselves if it
Christian,
hasn't happened.
ma'am. I'll just say this, and I move on to the next call. Tiffany, your father's a pastor.
Yes.
What you want is in direct conflict with your belief system. That's for you to sort out. But I'm just knowing, just understanding, according to Christianity, you're 100% incorrect. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong to have it, but you're wrong as a Christian and you know it.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm
And that's the conversation we got to start having in a respectful way. We got to have this question. Tiff is a good woman. I like Tiffany. I just disagree with the feminist leanings. And so many women have been like the first caller and heard from things from the second caller to when they wonder why it's difficult or near impossible to live in harmony with a man. And you're supposed to, and the church is supposed to be the light. We're supposed to be the ones teaching people. And this amount of discord between men and women in the church.
being misunderstood because I'm
No, I
not saying that
understand.
a man and a wife shouldn't be
I,
together.
I,
I'm
I
just
understand.
saying that
I understand. I
give
understand.
yourself time to get
I
to know
understand.
people. Don't
I
rush it.
understand. I understand the
You rush
Christian.
it, you might end up divorced like
Well,
me.
no, no, no. Well, but okay. No, you rush, you might end up divorce. No, no, I don't give you that because if you get married for not love, you get married for very practical reasons, spiritual reasons, Christian reasons. See, back in the day, we used to do this. A lot of this Hallmark love stuff, your feelings and all this other stuff did not matter. You got married because of children, legacy, things, and you fell in love with your spouse. And the
You want to
church,
build
hold
something.
on, hold on. And the church did not move the way the world did. Today, the church has become far too worldly, and this is what's in the church. This is why so many you're a church going woman. You see how many men are no longer in church? Why do you think
Cricket.
so many men are not in church? Because they're tired of hearing Christian women talk like this. You have Christian women speaking in contravenence to Christianity. That is why men are leaving the church. That is why pastors are actually telling their female flock, do not speak this way, do not say these things. But yet, black women, black Christian women, are some of the most stubborn, hard-headed people on the planet because at the end of the day, it's your faith and it's God is the person you're going up to. But at the end of the day, nothing in God's word, nothing in God's appointed men on earth, nothing God has said is what you women are talking about.
Yeah,
That's why
so
people in the chat room will talk. That's why people
I
in the
think
chat room.
Kevin, I think you and I actually agree. I think we're agreeing, to be honest with you. A man should not be alone, right? That's in God's word. A woman should be the helpmate to the man, submit to the man. The man should honor and love the wife just as Christ loved the church. We agree on that. All I'm saying is don't come down on yourself if it hasn't happened for you yet. If you want to find love, you can and will find love. But
Okay, first
don't
off, ma'am.
beat
First off,
yourself
let
up
me
if
stop you.
you
Let me stop you
haven't.
right there. Let me stop you right there.
Hmm.
The last thing you just said had nothing to do with Christianity. And I repeat, don't come down on yourself if you haven't found love. You
Or should I
will
say
find,
if you haven't found your spouse?
but
Let
but
let me
you
change
no
that.
no but you well no ma'am you've said it 3 times and that's the point. You still are conflating love and marriage. That's why I've
Well,
asked
the
you what.
Bible says that. The Bible
No,
says
it
the
is does
husband should
not.
love the wife as Christ loved the
But that
church.
is
That's
not the
love.
purpose of marriage. It is not romantic love.
I'm not
Hold
talking
on,
about
hold on, Tiffany.
romantic love. I'm talking about the
Tiffany. No, no,
God
no, no, no,
kind
no.
of love,
Tiffany.
the
The man should
agape
love.
love.
The man should love his wife like God, like Jesus loved the church. That's agape,
Agape love. I
which
keep
is
saying
not
that.
romantic love. You're talking about eros.
I didn't say anything about
Understand something. She was talking about eros. Don't come down hard on yourself if you haven't found love yet. Then she was going to change it to her spouse. But how do you find unconditional agape love from a stranger? What she's saying doesn't make sense. That has to come from a one-to-one relationship with somebody, and that means you're interacting with a man. You don't get agape just from strangers. We're not on this level anyway.
Romance. I
But,
never said the word
but
romance.
the love you're talking about is romantic love. Don't come down on yourself. You have not found love. Selfless love, agape, has nothing to
No,
do with.
that
Okay,
the
I
Christ-like
am not
love.
new, Tiffany. I'm not new to
I think
this.
we agree,
We
Kevin.
we here's
We
the,
agree.
we do agree, except for one thing: a woman's purpose on the planet is a man. That is your sole
Is a
purpose.
man's purpose a woman? Like,
That
what
is
would be a man's purpose?
a man. That is your purpose. Worry about your purpose. See, you want to win an intellectual battle. Your purpose is a man. That's it. And then this is that
And the
Western.
man's purpose is to honor God.
Hold on. I deal with your purpose. See what
Now, I want to ask you ladies a serious question. Christian women, when I said a woman's purpose on this planet is a man, and when she asked the question, so a man's purpose is, did you feel, was that an honest question, or did you hear the rebellion, the consternation? And then on a follow up point, it wasn't Eve's purpose in creation was to be a helpmate to Adam. That was her purpose. She didn't come in and start questioning, well, what's your purpose? Her purpose was all she had to be concerned with. And this is what I mean. This rebellion. You don't even want to, you want the, here's the thing. So many Christian women want traditional men, traditional Christian men, but you're not traditional Christian ladies. I use the word lady differently than use women.
you're doing right now has nothing to do with Christianity or anything else. It is an ego battle.
Honest
Why
question,
are you?
Doris.
What is a man? What is a man's purpose? What does
It's not an honest question, Doris. Doris, in the chat room, writes just like many women write. It's an honest question. Where did she go? It's an honest question. If you're a Christian, it's a dishonest question. It is not an honest question as a Christian. It is a completely dishonest question. And it's not even asked in good faith.
it matter if you're a woman? What is your purpose?
So that everyone
What
can
is a woman's
understand.
what is a woman's purpose? See, too many Western women, especially our black women, you're out of position.
The Bible says, "Follow me as I follow Christ." So as the woman is, the husband's leading the household, he's leading the woman and the children as he follows Christ.
And that does not change.
Again, attempts to use scripture for your own argument doesn't change the fact that you must be following somebody. All right, to all of you unmarried Christian women, who are you submitted to currently? What man is in authority over your life at this point? Because you're uncovered if you're single and unmarried. Because what she just tried to say is you have to follow God. Well, we're in submission to God. Who are you in submission to? You can't leapfrog man and say I'm in submission to God too. That's not how it works here.
Change what I said.
That's what I'm saying. We agree.
Well,
We're not arguing.
we agree if she's
We
married.
don't agree. We
If
do
you're
not agree.
unmarried, you're uncovered. You're not following anybody. You're following yourself. That's what I've been asking. As a single woman, who are you following?
As a single woman,
You're
I'm
following
accountable to
God.
my pastors, and I'm following the
Exactly.
Lord.
You're following your pastor who is your father. But your father already has a charge. Ma'am, single women, divorced women, let's not play games. You're uncovered. And there's provision there, but there's a time
There's
frame on that.
definitely provision there.
But you're not supposed to live life uncovered as a Christian woman.
I
And there's
agree. Men should have wives should have husbands.
so if you're not
But
supposed to
such is
live
life. Shout out to the single parents.
no, shout out.
And then that's when I went completely off the rails. Well, she tried to throw that shot in there talking about, but things happen about being a single parent. Shout out to the single parent. There is nothing in shouting out a single parent in the Christian faith. The only way you should be a single parent in the Christian faith is if you're a widow. That's the provision. Those are the children that are supposed to be covered for. Children of widows, orphans, when their parents die, those are the children. Now we're about to get into it.
Single parents, I don't shout out single parents. No, especially Christian ones. It's not about
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
about love. It it's
it's
not a
sad
it's
when you become a single parent, but you do
no,
what you
it's
got to.
not sad when you become a single.
Let me go ahead and say this too. Violet, where are you at so I can go ahead and put you up here? He keeps cutting her off. Oh, sweetheart, you make sure you call in too. He keeps cutting her off. You're right. Because you don't get to just come up here and lie and say what you want to on a man's platform. No, ma'am, you don't.
It's sad when you choose to be a single Christian parent and live in contravention to the thing you say you believe. That's when it's sad because how did that happen? See, you're here's what I find troubling about this conversation. I don't know how that muted. You're a woman who was raised with a 60, almost 70-year marriage and an almost 50-year marriage and a father who's a pastor. And I'm getting this level of pushback. And you're supposed to be one of the good ones. What about the women who
I
weren't
hope I'm
raised?
a good one.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, ma'am. There are some things that are extremely troubling about what it is you say you believe, and that's the problem a lot of black men have. This is a woman who says her grandparents were married for 65 years. Her parents were married for 48 years. Her father is her pastor, yet she's divorced and telling women don't feel bad if you don't fall in love or have a man or whatever you want to come out. And all the stuff you're talking about does not line up with what it is you say you believe, yet that's what you say you're putting in ahead of you trying to help you find a husband. It's going to be on God. And everything I've done is used exactly what you said to show you that you're in contradiction, but you're still going to hold on to it. Because here's the real problem, Tiffany. Too many black women like yourself are just hard-headed and can't nobody tell you nothing.
Goodness. I'm pretty okay.
You said your dad, okay.
You and I are probably the same age.
I don't, and what does that have to do with anything?
You don't hear those words hard headed unless it's like a parent talking
How old
to
are
a
you?
child. I'm 37.
I'm 51.
You look good.
And even if I was 36, I'm still a man.
Yep.
And if you're a Christian, you know what that means.
She just showed that she knows what that meant. Violet.
So I don't understand what me saying something you know is to be. That's why I wanted to have this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I think we are. I
It was
think
it
we
was a good
agree more
conversation
than
because what I
disagree.
think what you're gonna see is they're gonna be. I'm a patient person. I'm a learned person, but I know what I believe and why I believe it. And here's the thing: if it is this difficult for a well-intended black man to even get a woman who says she's well-intended to just agree with me on what it is you say you believe, how the hell are black men and women supposed to figure it out and stay together 48 and 65 years? It ain't
I
gonna
do
happen.
agree with you. I keep telling you we're on
No,
the same
ma'am, you
page
don't. We
here.
no, we no, ma'am. If this is agreement, I hate to see disagreement. If you think this is on a one accord, I hate to see discords. Just because you're not cursing and calling me out of my names, you're not in
I
agreement.
wouldn't do that.
Exactly, but it does not change the fact that you're still in opposition to what it is you say you believe. And I don't even have to get that's why I didn't get into your personal life and why you're not this. I don't want it. It does not matter. This is a
Yeah.
global issue with black men and black women. There should not be this amount of acrimony, especially with people who raised their hand and volunteered to be Christians. No one forced us to be Christians. No one forced us to live our lives in accordance. That's why I asked you very specific questions. You say your father is your pastor. You are supposed to be agreeing with me. That's not supposed. When I ask you what a woman's purpose is, it shouldn't be all this. It's a man to be a helpmeet. I mean, this is
Yep.
supposed to be real easy for Christian women.
To be a helpmeet, to cover him, I agree.
All right.
I do agree with that.
Well, okay. Well, it's good to say with our mouths, but when we live it with our lives, there's not this amount of acrimony. But I thank you for calling in. I
Yeah,
do.
I
I think
hear
this is a
you.
good call.
Thank you. You have a
Thank you very
blessed
much.
evening.
And y'all stop looking at the chat room. They ain't on nobody. They don't know these folks. They there to cause
I think
trouble.
you got some good people in the chat.
Yeah,
They're just straight shooters.
okay, but if they got some good ones, then I mean, I don't allow guys to come over and troll women and stuff. But we're gonna have. I think this is a good conversation because if black men and women don't have these, we ain't. Our marital rates are gonna continue to do what they do, and our families are gonna continue to do what they do, and ain't none of it good. I think we both have to agree on that
Oh yeah,
because I don't
yeah,
have we. You don't have what your parents and your grandparents said, and we both know that's what folks want.
yeah.
All right, then.
So
Talk to you.
did you read Mary? Like what? Maybe I should be going on your site to look at your
Yeah, I've been
story.
married. I've married twice. I certainly and if I
Did you
choose to
stay
marry,
with the second relationship or no?
no, she filed for divorce.
Neither did I. I remarried twice.
But here's the thing: I didn't file for either, and both wanted to come back. Both
Yeah,
divorced for worldly reasons, and
yeah,
I don't begrudge them anything. That's why you never hear me talk ill about them. Even in my marriages,
exactly.
even as a Christian man, I did not have the level of understanding I have now, and I take on headship as I should. That's why I'm never going to be hard on. I'm always going to be hardest on men because of headship. However,
Understood.
I can't tell black men who are willing to lead, to step up and lead, that they should have to argue with, let's move you to the side. Let's move you to the side so it's not personal. With ADOS black women who were raised in a country to look at her men differently than other women. Black men do not get the level of respect.
That
Uh,
they deserve. I agree.
Right. Even we're middle class, upper middle class folks, and black and the women and black women will get mad at black men like me who marry out. But then when you turn around and say, "Well, where is my counterpart?" My counterpart wants to rule Eden. She does
Yeah,
not want to be the helpmate, and she wants to argue. My helpmeet would rather get the snake and go tell God what's wrong with the text versus just doing what she's supposed to do.
right.
All right, thanks.
I agree.
So there you go. Answer the other question to be answered was, well, what about you? Have you been married? Uh-huh. Oh, don't listen to a person who can't tell you about the L's. Again, I make no bones about my divorces. Yep. You heard it again. But again, people who want to draw that as a distinction, you're missing the other part. A white man in my position, a non-black man in my position would have been divorced once, let alone twice. This woman even said black men don't get the respect they're due. Well, in the church, you're Christian, especially men who can actually show their work, shouldn't have to argue about who's in the garden and who's in control. Like it or not, like I said, here is what it comes down to. And shout out to Tiffany. She is a good sport, and I said it before, and I said it again. Tiffany gonna be married shortly because just like the first caller, this messy stuff between black men and black women has played itself out in front of everybody. Only in the black community do we say, well, I wouldn't listen to somebody who's been divorced. Well, then you're a fool. That's why I posted Steve Harvey's been married 4 times, and yet he sold 3 million books worldwide. Anywhere we think that black people should be perfect, you got to get it right the first time, and you can't tell me nothing. Okay, well, you wouldn't listen to somebody's been divorced, then do you listen to married people? I don't listen to them either. No, you don't listen to nobody because problem with authority. which is funny because a lot of the women in this position in the Christian church, the only person that can't judge, you can't check me, can't say is God, somebody who's not here. So why are so many black men, so many men leaving the modern church? Because they peeped a lot of this stuff long ago. The three main issues with women in the day's modern church that make high value men have left and other men are leaving. Three of them. Like it or not, in no particular order. Well, yes, there is a particular order. I will take it back. The weight issue. The weight issue is the least. It's when you go to church and you see women that are your height and they weigh more than you. The fitness issue. A single man looking around in the church cannot even find women who have room to grow 30 or 40 or 50 more pounds after you have children. But we're going to move on from that one because that's one too easy. The second one is a big one. It's a big one. It's being a baby mama, not a single mother. Baby mamas. Unmarried women who have children, especially multiple children, are in the church today with no one preaching or saying anything about them. Because you can't say nothing to anybody. Even though it's right there in the scriptures, we're supposed to just act like it doesn't exist. And you're telling men who put a different calling or a standard on their life that they should take care of these children because of a scripture in the Bible that refers to widows and orphans. No, those two things don't match. You're trying to give men who put a higher calling on their life the responsibility, but you're not even giving them the beginning things. Where are the young, cooperative, childless women that men should have an opportunity to build a family with? But the biggest reason why so many men have chosen to leave the modern church, the black church in particular, is because of this whole broadcast feminism, womanist. Feminist as will not work with traditional men. And it won't work with high value men. Sorry, it simply will not. And the modern church, especially the black church, is dominated with left-leaning womanist ideas. And you can have them. But see, there is no equality in the scriptures. There is a vertical relationship. You're not a partner. You're a helpmeet. And you're living, and here's the thing, if you're a Christian woman, you know these things. So here are the questions because the previous, the Tiff was saying she doesn't want women to feel bad. Okay, well, I got a question for you. If you're an adult single Christian woman, who is in authority over you? Not God, not Jesus, not the Trinity. Who's in authority over you? Who are you currently submitted to? Most don't know their fathers, and if you do know your father, you don't have a relationship with them. What man are you submitted to? There's supposed to be a man there. An individual man or men. Who? You're not? All right. That's the biggest question. Who are you submitted to? Because there is something wrong when an adult Christian woman, when we have so many adult Christian women who are unmarried, and we've been saying that, well, men don't want them. That's not true. That's not the whole story. It's that they don't want them. It's that they want ladies. And high value women of substance, know their limitations and boundaries, which leads them into the category of being ladies. See, you want men to be gentlemen, then gentlemen need ladies. Do you want to be a high value woman? Well, it's not about your education, your resumes, your accomplishments. It's about knowing your boundaries, your limitations, and your purpose. And we have taken that from women today by saying, I don't want you to feel bad if you don't have this or don't have that. So, well, like the first caller, she's got everything that women have been told that they should need, and it's not fulfilling. That's why so many women rush to the church when they're in that danger zone to look around and they don't see any men. Well, why are they at? Because if men cannot find what they're looking for, they won't go. That's why the dating economy for average everyday people has disappeared. K Jewelers, Michael's Bridal going out of business because for right now, men want something, they want a different outcome. They want wives. The men in this conversation want wives so they can have children and build a legacy. And you don't do that with somebody who is competing with you, at odds with you. And so many guys were told, go to the church and you will find the good women over there. And instead, you're finding women who believe a lot of the stuff you just heard in this last call. They'll do it with a smile on their face and they won't curse. But at the end of the day, the spirit of cooperation is gone for far too many. So let's get into it. That was a long lead in, but we needed that background. We're going to open the call lines. We're going to open the call lines, and I'm not going to put that up there. We're going to open the call lines because we got to get into it. I want to hear from you. Ladies, I want to hear you call in. Guys, I want to hear you call in. I want to hear you call in too. You will have to get on the camera though.
Money work.
No nameless, no faceless people. Don't have to get on YouTube, but I do need to see who you are.
Money work. Se arregla con dinero.
Passing the collection plate. Come on.
Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay para emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienen lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón porque mi
Big Ike coming through, baby.
no me vale mucho.
You have to have Ike have his own bomb, man.
Me llega solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work.
Oh, while I'm thinking about this. Woo! New fragrance of Francis Kirkjohn. Oh, this shit is dope.
Se arregla con dinero. Money work. De corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Yeah, de corazón. De corazón. La plata no te hace ser feliz. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero.
Yeah.
Money work.
All right, so here we're gonna go. Put back in waiting room. Cancel. Put back in waiting room. Cancel. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. In order to get on the show, I want to hear from the ladies more than I want to hear from the men. I want to hear from the ladies more than I want to hear from the men because honestly, guys, people pretty much know what men think. And I don't know if you're gonna get on here. I don't know what you're gonna say. I don't know what you're gonna get on here and say. And this is not a broadcast where I'm trying to hear a bunch of women being you ain't this and you ain't that and high value men, high value that. Here's the thing, man. If you're not a high value man, don't call in on a high value show. No disrespect, man, because that's who the women are wanting to hear from. Women don't want to hear from men who are not in a position to take on a wife right now. Let me tell you one of the questions I hear asked a lot on my here's what you got to be able to answer. If a woman was to step up to the plate and change, are you in a position to wife her or a woman like her? Are you willing to do it? Then if you're not willing to, they don't want to hear it. It sounds like just a bunch of complaints. And here's the thing. Let the guys, let the people who are willing to take on the responsibility stand in the gap and talk. You don't want to hear from women that you wouldn't want to deal with, speaking for the women that you would want to deal with. All right. Anyway, intermission. Francis Kirk John came out with a new fragrance, and I'm just loving his stuff so much. It is called L'Homme à la Rose. The review will be on this tomorrow. This shiznit is dope. May rose, grapefruit, laudanum, Damascus rose, and sage. Oh my God, this stuff is good. Masculine, sexy, sweet, grassy. Oh, so good. And the candle, that's called View of the Park or View of the City by Francis Kirk John. Yeah, baby. So, woo, let's get into it. Brittany Jones, you're up. Again, gentlemen, I'm not trying to be rude to you, but this is a conversation that, I gotta say the truth. Brittany, you need to get on the camera. You gotta get on the camera. So, how do I know this? How do I know so many high value men are gone? So I will tell you, I used to be in church on Sundays, on church, 3 different services at a mega church. I went to the 10 o'clock service. Then I worked in the homeless ministry and outreach, where we actually helped homeless people. Hold on. Helped homeless people, helped homeless men get ready for jobs and things like that. All right. Would cut their hair, would feed them. Yeah. All these 6-figure earning men cutting homeless men's hair. That's right. That's what I would do, along with a lot of my other brothers in the men's ministry. On Monday nights, we went to men's ministry. Men alone. On Tuesday night, we went to singles ministry. On Wednesday night, it's just midweek service. Thursday night, if something was going on, and then Friday and Saturday were generally open. The churches I went to, we would be involved in church, and then we would go into the hood and work. Many a night I have spent in Oak Cliff or on the streets on DeSoto, standing in the gap with men of God out there praying where shootings have taken place, out there walking through the hood and talking to people. And yes, in my suit, dapping up, saying what's going on to the young dudes, just talking to them like a man, not passing judgment on them, not telling them you need to do this, you need to do that. No. So y'all can miss me with a lot of this trying to judge me and saying, well, you ain't this, you ain't that. I am not perfect. I am flawed. I ain't shit just like the rest of you. My breasts stink. I got a bunch of problems. Got a whole lot of stuff wrong with me. I'm just like you. But don't tell me and don't tell guys like myself that we aren't qualified or don't have the right to speak because you don't like what men like yourself are saying. Men like that who are working during their lives. And then you got brothers who are above average brothers, above average earning brothers coming to church, working, not just passing out Christmas and Thanksgiving dinners, doing stuff in the gap. And when you look around, there are no women. They're tired of being argued with. All right, Brittany, please sit down somewhere because you're bouncing all over the place and your camera's moving. And you guys need to respect this kind of show too. Um, are you ready? All right. I'm gonna ask you to unmute yourself. Go ahead. Hello. I just asked you to unmute yourself and you muted yourself. Unmute yourself, please.
Okay, there we go. I'm sorry.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am well. Well, what do you have on the subject? Why high value men have left the church? Modern Christian feminists, single
Well, I,
mothers, and obesity. Those are the things.
well, I agree very much with what you said earlier. You said it's
You
because
don't or you
of
do?
I do. I do. I agree with very much what you said earlier because of how women act now. But I don't not all of us are like that because me,
Okay. Hold on. Now,
can you hear me?
hold on. Now, understand that not every woman, but too many of them are. You not acting
Right.
like this, it helps men how?
It doesn't. It doesn't. Because too many are like that. So
Do you
it
do
gives
you hang
I feel
out
like
with
it
women
gives
like
all
yourself?
no, I actually don't. I actually don't.
Do you interact with other women in the church?
Yes, I do.
Um,
I'm gonna say this. Um, Majority of the women that I hang out with are older than me.
okay.
I never had friends that were around my age,
How
mostly
old are you?
because
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Okay, yeah. Sweetheart, you're a little too young for this conversation right now. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, no offense, but I need some women out here who've done something. So let me say this right now. This is not a conversation for women under 23. If you're not out on college at least, I mean, far too many of y'all are running into here trying to talk about stuff, and this is a grown folk conversation. Stephanie, I'm going to unmute you. Got all these guys in here, and I want to know from the guys. I'm going to say that the title says high value men, so you got to know that you're going to have to be able to fit in that area before we start talking. High value men, defined over here, starts with money. $10,000 a month for at least 5 years. Verifiable. That's not my standard. I didn't do anything. That's the world gave us that standard. All right, Seth, go ahead.
Hi, how you doing, Kevin?
I'm well. So what did I get wrong? What am I off about? What did I miss?
Um, I don't think you're off about anything. I really I know that women we revert. I've seen women in my church that just hold on to like Jesus is my husband, and they don't really position themselves to be wives.
Mm-hmm.
Like
How old are
they're
you?
not getting out there.
How old are you?
I'm 36.
36 or
36.
32?
36.
Okay. Have you been married?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay. Are you still currently married?
No.
Okay. Um, do you want to remarry?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So
I was just telling my mother this the other day.
so any children?
Yes, I have children from my marriage. Yeah.
Okay. How many? Just so I know.
Three. Three.
Three. So, why would you? Who filed for divorce, and why did you guys split?
I filed for divorce because my husband had infidelity, but that was my last resort. I tried to get him to stay and things because I know the importance of a man and his place in the house because everybody deserves a second chance, but he decided to stay away and he currently is out of state. I live in one state, he moved to another one, and so
How long have you guys been
that's the
divorced?
situation. A year.
Oh, yeah. Um, so the way you're saying this is that you filed for divorce as a last resort because of his infidelity.
Yes.
Did you guys ever discuss his
Well,
infidelity?
yes.
Okay.
I when I found out just by finding out, by asking him and he told me yes. Um, he said he didn't want to be married anymore, and I was like, "Well, why?" And so we went through this discussion just to keep it short.
Mm-hmm.
I had told him to say that I forgave him and that we should talk to somebody. So he really didn't want to do that. So when I came home from church one day with the kids, he just packed up everything and left.
Well, there. I
So
mean,
it's been
if
a
that's
on
the
and off process.
situation, if that's the situation, I have no reason to
Yes, sir.
believe it's not. Then there's no reason to stay. See, that's when divorce
Yeah,
is makes sense. You can't stay married to
yeah.
somebody who doesn't
It
want.
may.
Hold on, hold on, hold on,
I
Stephanie, hold on. You can't.
yes, sir.
I've had women say he wants women to stay in bad relationship. No, 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 no. I want you to value. I want you to. I want you to honor your oath, your vow, your covenant. But you
Yes.
cannot. I'm not talking to people in the audience. But if a woman
Hmm.
uh, has tried to stay with her husband and he doesn't want to
Hmm.
deal with his part of the oath or the covenant about, then she has the even a pastor would say she has the right to file. But how long you've been divorced for a year? How long were you guys married?
Yeah, we were married for 9, separated for like 2 years because I tried to see his actions if he really
So have
wanted
you
the
gone to counseling
family,
or therapy
but
yourself?
I haven't gone to therapy, and I really believe I do believe I need that.
Well, in all
I'm
likelihood,
stronger enough.
no, man, no, it has nothing.
Yeah, I
Has
do.
nothing. Okay, I need you to listen. Okay,
Yes, sir.
it has nothing to do with being strong. Divorce is like death. And even if you
Yes.
had the divorce that you didn't want to have, it still happened. And the
Yes.
ability to get out and interact with somebody to the point of being somebody else's wife, you're going to have put all this to bed and be a new
Exactly.
wife for that man. If that's what you want, you're going to have to go through that process. Because if not, you'll just drag this into another situation and likely reproduce this situation. So, thank you for calling in.
Thank you,
Bye
Kevin.
bye. Guys, you can't treat everybody the same um, just because you got something to say. I don't know you. Okay, guys, do me a favor. Type in the chat room. If, if you guys are you have earned over $10,000 a month for 5 years in a row. To the two guys that are in the chat room, because I'm not trying to just do this, guys. I'm just not. Yeah, dude, you're in the basement. That can't be you, fam. Um, I don't want to. No, no. Here's how you type in the chat room. Jamila, I'm gonna go ahead and mute you. I'm not hearing you guys type, so I'm assuming that's a no. What's going on, Jamila?
Nothing much. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
I'm actually a new listener.
Mm-hmm. How old
Just
are
trying
you?
to.
How old are you?
How old am I? I'm 26 years old.
26? Okay. You're old enough to talk.
I know I don't look it, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 26 years old. I was just curious to get your insight on how, everything that you were saying in regards to the Black men in the church and such, and the high value men in the church. And I personally don't believe that there are very many, if
Okay. Let
any
me
at
stop you
all.
right there.
Okay.
What do you do? Did you go to college?
Yes, sir.
What did you go to school for?
I'm a nurse.
All right. And if we went down this path, do you want to be married? How many kids do you want? Etc.
I would love to be married. Yes. I anywhere from 3 to 5
And
kids.
do you want to have to work after you're pregnant to pay substantial bills?
I wouldn't mind working. I've never seen myself as a stay-at-home mom.
So you're all right with working after FMLA stops. After 12 weeks, you're okay with going back to work and put you
It would.
okay.
I
I just need to, ma'am.
ideally.
No, I just need to know what you want, ma'am, so we can get on down the path.
Yes, sir. Ideally, it would be great if I can stay home with the kids until they are school
So
age.
you know that. So this is why I need you ladies to understand. You still want to be a stay-at-home wife. You need to be out until school age. That's 5 years. That means somebody has to replace your income. So
You're right.
I know. I ask these questions, ladies, because I know what it is most of you want, and you're gonna have to admit it. So here's the thing: high value men. Why do you need a out? They're not like your premise is they're not like high value men in the church to begin with.
I I haven't. I've gone to a pretty good. I've gone to a few churches. I've always gone to church ever since I was a kid, and
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
but you're 26. High value men left the church 10 years ago. Most guys, 10 to 15 years ago, is when they start leaving. You were every bit of 11.
Yes, and I understand that. You're right. I
So
just might think.
the question is, why did they leave?
I don't disagree with you with the three things that you said, that the reason why they don't leave. It's a lot of feminism. The church that I went to, honestly, the woman who led the church, it was a woman who led the church. So,
Stop right there. Why in the hell would a high value man go to such a place?
my mom, single mama, went. That's where I went there. So when I
That's
was
not a
a kid,
question, man. A question I asked is why would a high value man go sit under a female pastor?
there would be no reason for him to.
And your mother was a single mother, right?
Yes, sir.
Again, so was mine. But the church I went to was very traditional. See, so many black women like yourself start with the premise that high value black men don't exist.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say you.
Oh, so you said like myself. You're correct. Sorry. I apologize.
Because if they existed, they would be everywhere, including churches, whether it was in your church or not. So the first statement you made was, I don't really see high value men around, which is by implication, they don't exist. See how that logic works? So do you think there are a lot of high value black men?
I think there are.
What percent out of 100% of black men in this country, ADOS black men, not from another continent, born and raised here, of 100% of black men, how many do you think fit the high value income standard?
And I want to say at least 60%. That would be a good.
60?
Yes.
Where does high value start at?
You, according to what I've heard on this show, is 120K.
Do you think 60% of black men make that?
I think so. I mean, I
Now,
look
what
at.
I need you to understand is, I'm trying not to be funny, but you're a college educated woman.
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. And the stat has always been 10%. 10% of men earn that amount of money. See, this explains to why so many women think that high value men are so plentiful. 10% earn $100,000 or more. Not 60, 10. And to earn the kind of money you're talking about making, to be able to stay at home for 3 kids, what state do you live in?
I live in Florida.
Florida. You're still talking about, well, God, you're still talking around 350,000 plus dollars for 3 kids, a wife, because he has to replace your salary.
Right.
What I'm showing to the audience is so many of our women have no idea what men are, who men are. It's like, I'll move you to the side. It's almost as though you're just discovering that there's a thing called men out there, and you don't know anything about them.
I can't disagree. I grew up mostly with my mom, obviously, because she's a single mom. My dad is a construction worker in New York.
Okay.
So for me to see a man making well into the not well into the six figures, but in the 100,000 range, it's normal. My dad was very much a provider for me all through college. So it's normal for me to see men making that amount.
Okay,
My uncles
but
made
when
that
you go
amount.
into the rest of the world, you don't. Okay, anecdotal. Okay, do you have a boyfriend?
I do not at the moment.
What's the longest relationship you've ever had?
About 4 years.
How long ago was that?
We recently broke up, and I believe that he
All right,
was
so
on his way
ma'am,
to
I need you. What I
leaving.
need you to
Yeah,
hear is you've been very sheltered.
I agree.
All right, so maybe you should fall back and listen in this conversation because you have
Mhm.
had an unusual life. You're not really cut out for this conversation. If you have 4 years, see, my better question is, who broke off the 4 year relationship?
He did.
Why?
Of various reasons. Um, I can give you one was that he felt that other people's opinions affected our relationship.
Why did he break off the relationship with 4 years? It wasn't 4 months.
We were dealing with each other for 4 years, but we were officially together for 1 year,
What
and
does
he
he mean
changed.
officially together?
We were dating for 4 years and decided to make it official for one.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You see, you ladies like to play these games. Did he claim you for 4 years?
No.
How long did he?
So 1 year, 1.5 years.
Are you a Christian woman?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Are you? Do you have an interaction with your relationship with your dad? You said he paid for college.
Yeah, I just spoke to him.
So is he helping you kind of vet men as you date?
No, no,
Okay.
no.
Did he meet this guy that you knew for all these years? What did your dad think about it?
My dad had not met him. No, my dad lives in New York and I live in Florida.
I
So
don't need no.
Oh my God!
No, no, no. Your daddy was paying college, right?
yes.
So you didn't say, "Daddy, I got a boyfriend,"
Yeah, I
and he
did.
never met your
He
father,
never
and you never. Okay, ma'am. Okay. See, now we start. Daddy may have got the bill. Does Mama have a husband?
no,
Does Mama have a boyfriend? Has
no.
Mama ever had a boyfriend in your life?
Yes.
How long?
She was engaged for a few years, I guess.
All right. This is a whole story in and of itself. I move on to the next thing. You're a little bit too young, and there's a lot of things going on. But ma'am, if your father, who's paying your college bill, can't even get to know your so-called boyfriend of a year and a half, that's a problem. Problem. All right. I'm gonna let you make it
Okay,
because
thank you.
I don't wanna hammer on. Yeah. No. Ms. Dynasty, we're gonna go ahead and unmute you. Um,
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am well. So, what did I get wrong?
What do you mean?
Well, you called in for something. I'm calling to see what I got wrong or right. What do you have? What do you have on the?
Oh no. Okay. So I'm also a new listener. I've been listening for maybe almost like a month, roughly a month, maybe a little shy of a month. And I find a lot of value in what you offer on your channel.
How old are you?
And I'll be 31.
Do you have something on the topic? Are you a Christian?
I'm, I recently decided to be Christian.
Okay.
I got baptized last June.
All right.
I've usually, yeah, kind of rebellious,
You did what?
but very, huh?
I need you to pay attention to what I'm saying. You did what?
Sure.
Do you have me on speakerphone or something?
Yes, because you said you wanted to see
Well,
why.
yeah, I'm cool, but I need to know. Are you a Christian? And you said you decided to get baptized recently.
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Okay, and and you've been Christians for a short period of time, and I heard you say
Yes,
something about being rebellious.
yes.
So,
I was very into like Afrocentricity, like
are you a hotep?
Kemetic and hmm.
You one of them hotep folks?
I guess used to be
Mm-hmm.
the Israelite
Mm-hmm.
they speak of in the Bible. That's definitely Israel, Jacob. That's a lot of my story.
All right. Well, what do you have on the topic?
Well, actually, I was kind of curious as to. I mean, I emailed you before. I was looking for some guidance. I didn't know how you
I don't
consult.
answer random emails. I get dozens of emails a day. People who want guidance, book a session. That's what you have to.
That's what I was looking to do on the website.
Well, if you
But
so you went to if you went to my website, there are places that go where it has products and then scheduling. But did you have anything on this topic that you want to discuss tonight?
okay, yes. So as you were speaking to the last young lady, I'm like, oh my god, because I too have been sheltered for a lot of my life, and now I'm like playing catch up in many ways, and I'm just like trying to figure out what's the best route for me because I feel like I've been dating wrong,
All right.
like
Well,
choosing the wrong
that's here's the thing, ma'am. That's not tonight's broadcast, though. So
man.
a lot of you
Okay,
ladies, I can tell you what a lot of
sure.
you ladies do wrong.
Yes.
A lot of you ladies want to try to make stuff calling into a broadcast when I'm talking about Christianity, marriage, and why men left the church to ask a specific question about why you've been dating wrong is inappropriate. It's almost like black
Okay.
women just don't give a shit about what black men want. You're gonna just come in and get what you want. Doesn't matter. I got almost 4,000 people watching. It's like, well, damn that. Answer my question. That's not cool.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't know that's how it was coming off.
Well, that's
Um,
ma'am, but okay. If you like Chick-fil-A,
Not really.
you know what Chick-fil-A is though, right?
Yeah.
If you walked in at Chick-fil-A at 8 o'clock at night, would you start asking for chicken biscuits if you had a craving for one? Breakfast over at 10:30.
Yeah.
Would you start asking for? Would you drive up and be like, well, I need a chicken biscuit? No, breakfast time is in the morning.
Okay.
You know how this works. Y'all know how the world works. It's just when it comes to black men, y'all just don't seem to care about the rules. You just want what you want.
I'm trying to understand.
There's no
Um,
okay. Trying to understand. Treat me like you treat a white man. How about that? You got a job? All
yes.
right. You work for a white person? Or you work for a black person?
My job is multiracial, multicultural.
Who signs your paycheck for the last 10 years? The black people?
I would say white.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Treat a black man like you would treat the person who pays you. You got a lot better outcomes. There's not much to understand. When somebody's in a position to hold some authority over you, everybody tends to know how to act right. Got it? That's a good guiding stone. Because a big problem a lot of black men have with black women today is you treat black men with little to no respect. It doesn't matter. I could be on a corner or I could be the CEO of something. I still get the same treatment from black women for the most
Mm,
part.
wow.
You say, wow, but you came in and did the same thing and you didn't intend to. but your respect for the black male image is so low. I mean, really? I mean, come on, sis.
I deeply apologize.
Appreciate it. No problem. No harm. No judgment, sis. No problem. But I have enough patience and grace to deal with this. But guys, here's the thing. To the guys who I just pushed out of the chat room, unless you're gonna come in and tell me who you are, I'm not gonna just put you on the screen. And I'm gonna tell you, some of you guys, man, you're looking a little sketchy to me, man. Like, who am I supposed to believe you are? I mean, if we're trying to move the conversation forward, women who are coming over here want to hear from men that they can at least assume have the standing to say something to them. You guys have to accept that. Let me talk to the men. You can't want to be treated as a man who deserves respect when you look like a teenage boy. A big part, a not insignificant portion of the problem black men have with dealing with black women is black men and your lack of caring about your image. Talk about I demand respect when you got a ball cap on, jeans set, gravity. Look, man, you look like a teenager. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how big your beard is and how deep your voice is. You got the avatar of a teenager. And human beings work on archetype in our mind. I shouldn't have to do this. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it from men. Men don't make those arguments. That's anti, in my opinion. All right, where are the ladies? Because I'm going to ask you, dude, you just came in here to the chat room. I don't know who you are. You need to, and the guy who's in the screen, yeah, we're just going to do that. Nope, not going to just be having guys jumping here. See, a lot of reason guys have an issue with this whole high value conversation is it does what needs to be done for the longest. We need to have separation and hierarchy. There is a lot of guys like it when I rank women over here. Well, guess what? There's a ranking among men too. We all have a rank. We're not all generals. You can't just be a general of a one-man army. Yeah, some of these dudes, I'm like, wait a minute, you talking about you a high value dude? I see exposed piping in a dark basement. Nah, man, knock it off. And all that would do is bringing you on the screen to talk to women. They're like, I'm supposed to submit to this? I'm supposed to submit to a guy in a basement with exposed piping? And a wife beater on? Man, knock it off, man. So, back to what I was saying. Respect given to Sister Tiffany. Like I say, Tiffany ain't gonna have no problem. Tiffany is a wife. See, here's the thing. Let me speak this is what I honestly believe. I believe that I've seen a lot of women like Tiffany in the church. And never before on a massive scale have we actually had a conversation between the men and the women. No one wants to be separated and unattached. Let me say this. Shout out to Sister Erica Williams. Erica Williams is going to have a video on her show, and I'm going to be a part of it. There's an article that was written. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention to this. This is New York City is dead, and it ain't coming back. This whole corona thing has changed the world. And understand something. When you aren't crammed into major cities like New York City, to where the entertainment, business, shopping, people, all that single life is it's easier to be single in a place like New York because you got a lot of hustle and bustle going on. It's not so easy to be single now. You don't have a job to go to where you're around human beings. You can't just go out and be around people now. Now you have to get in your phone and schedule time with the people you know. And right now, far too many people don't know anybody. Single women flock to major metropolitan areas to meet up with other single women to go around and be around the Henrys. Well, the Henrys are working remotely in Connecticut now. What's this going to do to single people? Oh, yes. In 2 months, 3 months, when the new cold and flu season hits, oh, yeah, the next round of CV, there are going to be a whole lot of women coming to, hey, big head, what you doing? There's going to be a lot more negotiations going on, and I'm good with that. There are a lot of guys like, I don't want to talk to her because, look, you said a lot of guys are like, in order for this to line up and work out, we're going to need to act to God. Well, God, here you go. Thank you, Jesus. He gave it to you. Now what's going to happen? What happens when Angie and Tiff, what happens when Angie and Tina come calling Greg, come calling Aaron? Are you going to still hold a grudge? You can. Or are you going to step up to headship and decide to sit back and say, what are you going to do? I make no judgment either way. I'm just calling it as I see it. Aaron and Greg, Angie and Tina, and other groups are already down the aisle. That's why they got 50+% marital rates. That's why when this whole thing hits, they're hunkered down or sheltering in place with their wives and their kids in their neighborhoods. We're sheltering in place, single by ourselves. Let's talk about it. I ain't wrong. You know I'm talking Ben Cisco. Boy, when I read that article last night, I was talking with Eric and I was like, that's so right. Because when I lived in New York City, the big thing was like hustle and bustle. And you didn't mind paying, exorbitant rent because I could run into a Ben Cisco or an Ike or a Doug or somebody like that in New York City. And you could trip over opportunities. But now the city's like a ghost town. Now people are starting to realize the Time Life building, which can hold 8,000 employees, the most they've had in is 400 or 500. And companies are realizing we don't need all this high-end retail, all this high-end commercial space. We haven't seen a dip in productivity or anything with everybody working from home. Doug, you better tell them. So what happens, Doug? What happens, Ike? I see you ladies. What happens when me, Ike, Doug don't have to spend $4,000 to live in a swanky Manhattan apartment to be closer to work? Because it don't matter if I live in upstate New Jersey or Connecticut, I can still work because now we all working. What's changed everything, baby girl, big boy? Bandwidth. Now you can do it all on this. I used to sell fiber optic networks. That was where I came out in sales. Used to take $10,000 fiber optic connections to get 1.5 megabit. Now you can get 40, you get T3 speeds on your phone. Now people don't have to cram into these places. And what does that mean? I'm gonna get to the callers in a second. When people don't have to cram into cities, they don't have as many times to have accidental chance encounters. Everything falls apart. Office space begets restaurants. Great article. Great article. Begets everything else. And we're just now seeing the beginning of it. Number two, we're about to get into the lagging effect of people being out of work. Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. All right, ladies. I see Katrina. I need you to unmute yourself. Shout out Tony Davis. I got to give Big Ike a big bone. My old job just cut 100K engineers. And I'm telling you, fam, you better go find y'all Tina and Angie going to get real compliant. So what we need is some reconditioning. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's going on, Katrina?
Hello, how are you?
I am well. How old are you?
40.
Okay, what did I get wrong? What did I get wrong?
You didn't
What?
you didn't get anything wrong. You didn't nothing wrong. My question is, I think I'm not your average listener. A lot of times people things you talk about don't per se apply to me. And my question is this is like, okay, I'm 40. I have 3 kids. I've done a stay-at-home mom thing. I'm divorced. I've been divorced for 12 years. So, and I don't need a high value man. I'm at the point now where I want companionship. I do want a Christian man. I am a Christian woman. I do know that no
What's the
marriage is
question?
gonna
What's the
be.
question?
My question is like, how should I put this? Um, just everyone that I hear you speak of, you have a um,
Just give me your question. Just give me your question. Just give me your question.
so what do you do? Okay, so what if you're a woman who is old like I'm 40. I don't want to have any more kids. I'm done having children. I don't need to have a high value man. I just want a good man. I want companionship.
Okay.
I want a man that is a Christian. And with that being said, how is that hard for me to find? I know I'm in that danger zone or what
All right.
have you,
So,
but
ma'am,
I
all
don't
right,
want
all
to
right.
have
Let me stop you right
okay.
here. I've asked you like 5 times. Basically, what you're saying is, how does a woman at my age find just a man for companionship for the rest of my life?
Yeah, it's a good person. Yeah,
All right.
a good Christian.
Well,
They don't have to be all
the
those things.
first thing you gotta be willing to say it. I knew that's what you were calling to ask for. Sentence into it, but you ladies don't want to just admit. You want to go all the way around the world, and men don't want to hear all that.
Understood.
First and foremost, why do you want a quote unquote good man? Because are your kids out of the house?
Oh no, they're older. They're in high school,
How
so
old is
they're
the
almost there.
youngest?
My youngest one is 12. I'm sorry, she's in middle school. She's 12.
Well,
I have a high schooler.
so the kind of man you're looking for, you're looking for somebody just to round to go to get to make it to home plate with.
Yeah,
You're
I just
rounding
want to go
third base,
over
and you just want
along.
to you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, kind of like my mother did.
Yes,
All right. Well,
yes, sir.
here's the thing. How long were you married?
I was married for 8 years, 5 years.
5 years, and that was 12 years
Yes,
ago.
sir. Yes,
So,
I've known him for
oh,
20 years.
you're 40. 12 years
Yes, sir.
ago, you divorced, and before that, you were married for 5 years. 17, 23. So you got married early on.
Yes, sir.
What kind of history do you have in the last 12 years of actively cooperating with a man?
That has that's definitely my issue.
Well, there's your problem.
My
It's not a problem with men, man. It's the problem is you in the mirror, because there are plenty of men out there. But let me see if I can fill in the rest of your story. You spent the last 12 years focusing on your job, your kids, your career, yourself, doing all this other kind of stuff. Now you look up and you're 40 years old and you're about to be an empty nester. Now you want to just plug in a relationship. Guess what? Men are not freaking Lego
pretty
bricks.
much, sir.
Men aren't Lego bricks.
Hmm.
Do you fit anybody's? Okay, here's a question. Do you fit anybody's situation? What
It's
do I
very
need
few.
from a 40-year-old? Okay, here's a hard question. Ready?
Hmm.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Hold on. Ready?
Hmm.
What do what does an Aaron or a Greg need from a woman who has no history of working with an Aaron or a Greg?
I'm gonna have to ask you what exactly is an Aaron or
Our
a Greg?
average, everyday, regular dude. You got no history of it. You got history of working with one man 17 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. That is a problem.
Yes. And the question is, why'd you cut off all? And see, what I need to hear from sisters like you is to tell young women, don't do this. Stop cutting men off. Stop thinking you can just shut men out and life down and restart this engine at 40 years old. It don't work that way.
I agree.
Well, then tell
I
them.
mean, I just
Tell them.
I well my that's not the way to work. I agree. It does catch up with you. But at my point, my kids when I first got divorced, my kids were really young. And I was just focused on raising them. I was struggling trying to just be a single mom with 3 kids, manage my home and my job. And just before I looked up,
But see, okay,
they're
so
older and like,
here's
ooh,
the question that's gonna come up. Here's the question that's gonna come up. Why did you and your husband split? That's the question that's gonna come up.
you know what? I was young and immature.
That doesn't
That's
answer
something
my
I
question.
regret.
So you filed for divorce from your husband?
I did.
Why? Here's a question that's gonna come up, ma'am.
Oh yes, I mean as I say all the time, young and immature. If I looking back, if I pinpoint exactly why, it was just stupid. And looking back, he
Stupid
tried to
meaning
work like
what? Stupid meaning what?
it was young. I was young and immature,
Give me
and
a
I just
reason.
thought I
Did you
was
think you could do better?
No, you
Did you
know what?
think you
I just
didn't
thought
need
that
him?
I'll be. No, I just thought that okay, I can find somebody else later, and I realized I wasn't
So
too
you thought you
advantageous
could
as it
do
is.
better. I'm 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 out here. I could do
Okay,
better. Okay, see, and what I'm trying to show you, man, is if I met you or somebody like myself met you, they're gonna ask these questions, and you got no good answer for it. I was just young and dumb. I'm sorry, you were married to a man with three
I was.
kids. Was he working?
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Was? Did you have to work?
Uh, at that point, it was just not cost effective not to work with three
Oh,
in
Jesus
daycare.
H. Christ! Did you have to work while you were married?
I didn't have to.
Okay,
It wasn't easy.
that, ma'am. See, men are very direct communicators. That's why a lot of you think I'm rude. You have no history with working with men, so you think this is rude. I'm just trying to get information. You were married at 21, 22.
I was married at 27.
At what age? 20. What age did you meet your? What age did you first get married?
I got married at 27.
You said you're 40.
Yes, sir.
You said you've been divorced for 12 years.
Maybe the math isn't quite right, but I know I was married at 27.
It's the math of your own freaking life, lady.
Okay, Mr. Samuels,
How long
whatever
have you been? How long
you.
have you been divorced?
I got divorced in 2012.
So it's 8 years.
Yes, sir.
So I'll get to be mean because she doesn't know her stuff. These
I
things
didn't say you
matter.
were
These
mean.
things matter to men. So you
No,
got
you didn't.
married to a man at age 20 what?
27.
You got married at 27.
Yes.
All right, and you got divorced at what age?
Like 30, 31.
31. So you married 4 years. When you were married, did you have to work?
I didn't work after I had
Did
my
you have
first
to
child.
work when you were married?
No,
No. All three of your children were by your husband, yes or no?
yes, sir. They
So
were.
you were married to a man that you didn't have to work and you had all three of your kids, and yet you thought you could divorce him and find better. Great. Before you met him at 27, between 18 and 27, what happened here?
I was with him as my high school sweetheart. Is that a whoop?
So you were with a man that you've known and you've seen him grow from high school to 27.
Hmm.
He married you, put you in a
Hmm.
position that you did not have to work. You had three children, yet you decided to divorce him and go elsewhere. And then you want to talk about how you struggled to be something. See, that's where all that comes in place. Nobody's going to give you credit for struggling. You chose it.
Agree. Like I said, I was young and
No,
stupid.
man. And see, this is the part. Here's why this is relevant, man.
Hmm.
I need a lot of ladies like yourself. Some of you don't deserve a second chance.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to tell you this. That's where a lot of men think. A lot of men will hear that and say, "Wait a minute. You found a good man. He married you. He sat you down. You had three children, and you divorced him for no good reason. And you think you deserve to go
No,
back."
no.
Listen, I'm telling you how men are going to hear this.
Hmm.
Or do you not want to hear it?
I'm listening.
This is how men are going to hear this. I married my high school sweetheart almost 10 years after college, after high school. I did not have to work. He took care of everything. All I had to do was be the wife and have babies. And he took care of it. But that still wasn't good enough. I divorced him. Then I had to go out and struggle on my own.
Hmm.
Now I look back and say I was young and dumb. Most men are going to say, you don't deserve a second chance. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you that's what a lot of men are going to hear. Because you had the best, you had more than 75% of black women can ever get a husband. And you had a husband paying all the bills. And you threw it all away.
Then
So
I'm gonna
most
say I was
guys gonna be
young and
like,
dumb.
I'm not gonna volunteer to deal with her. Because
Hmm.
here's the rounding. Let me round it all the way home. Because what's to say if I decide to deal with her, and I'm with her for 10 years like a high school sweetheart, then all of a sudden when I need her to be around, and I'm 40, and now I'm 60, is she gonna be around? Is she gonna throw me away too? See, the way you guys handle men, what you do with men, tells a lot. tells men a lot about what you're gonna be like with them.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry,
Well, with
man.
that being said,
Go ahead. So let me say this. So I'm sorry, ma'am. No one's gonna hear a sob story about being a single mother and hard times. Ain't nobody that's gonna fall on deaf ears. You chose that.
yes, sir.
So go ahead.
But with that being said, you were correct. I chose that. I said I was young and dumb. And then when this time you grow, you realize a lot of things. You know, at that time I wanted to know about the bills and all that. Now after dealing with it, like I want to know. Just
Where's
make
he
sure they
at?
get paid.
Where's
You
your
go, you
husband?
grow up.
Where's your ex
And
husband?
we're still very we have a very good co-parent relationship. We're
Hold
still
on,
I
hold on,
talk to him
hold
every
on,
day.
hold on, hold on. You're still what?
We're still very good friends. Talk to him every day. I'm missing.
Are you one of these women who
I don't know if
divorce?
I
Are
can
you one
hear
of
you or
these?
you're
You one
quiet.
of these women that divorce your husband and then you still stay involved with him?
No, not like that. Let's not go there. We
You
co-parent
said you
well.
talk with him every day.
I do. We have 6 kids.
Listen, that's bullcrap. You,
Is it?
oh man, this is why I'm trying to explain to you. You're not really cut out for any other man. When you divorced your husband, he should have shut the door on you, and your only interaction would have been specifically regarding the children.
Mhm.
Who has primary custody?
I do.
So he has visitation.
Yes.
Is he paying child support?
Yes.
Then he should not be talking to you ever, other than
Well,
direct. Listen, other than directly relating the children. Yet you're still getting his non-sexual attention. He is still speaking to you as like he's in your not in your house, but he's in your life. You're not cut out for another man. I can't
I would
think of
agree.
no other man should even want to talk. Why don't you just go? Why don't you just apologize and go ask your husband to take you back?
We are discussing that.
No, no, no. Why don't you go apologize and ask your husband to take you back?
I have done that. I listened to your show about the Eternal Seven, and I'm willing to
Good.
grovel of a glass and make it
Good.
that
Well, then,
work.
but that wasn't
Yeah,
your.
I
But
have.
ma'am, that was not the question you asked. You asked about going on to another man. I can rewind the tape. That's what you called and asked. You didn't say,
I
"How can I
did.
make it better?"
Then that's what should have been my question because that's more or less what I want.
But that's not what you. Mm,
I agree. I didn't ask that question properly.
no, ma'am. You didn't ask the question properly. That ain't what you even asked. You asked about it.
Agreed.
Ladies, what I need you guys to understand is this: what men are dealing with. You hear about how bad black men are, how they ain't taking care of their kids, how they doing all this other stuff. Your husband was black, right?
Yes, sir.
So your high school sweetheart, did he cheat on you or anything, or did you cheat on him?
No.
So what age did you guys get together in high school?
Uh, Senior year.
So
So
senior
we
year,
were
17.
18.
So a man has been with you since you was 18, and you took him through all these changes,
Mhm.
and he's still dealing with you.
We still love each other.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to reach through this internet and pinch your ear. I said he's still dealing with you.
Okay.
When he rightly, right. Okay, ma'am. If the world was right, what should he be? Should he still be talking to you?
He doesn't have to.
That's not what I asked you, ma'am.
No, no, he should not be talking to me other than talking about the children.
See the deception, women? Exactly. He shouldn't be talking to you. So this is what you don't hear. You don't hear that black men go through this level trying to be with a black woman, with their wives, with their kids. All you see is the bloody stats. You don't hear this shit that men go through. Well, sadly, I've heard this story so many times, I can predict it. That's why I knew what she was talking about when she first fucking called.
Okay.
Don't call me asking about getting with a man. You find a way to get on your goddamn knee pads and crawl back to your husband and act like you got some goddamn sense and you learned your lesson. You don't deserve another man. You don't deserve another bite at the apple. And you're lucky you still got the one that's dealing with you.
Well, thank you for that.
Call me when you get your husband back.
We'll see. I appreciate your
No, no,
time.
no, 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 no. Because there is no other man out here that you should be dealing with. Don't nobody else deserve this. Call me when you get your husband back because your children want that. And honestly, ma'am, it may sound a little bit harsh, but that's who you're really cut out for. Have you been? If you haven't been physically involved with another man, I don't know what y'all playing these games for, man. You wasted a lot of life and a lot of time and a lot of damn money. Come on, black women, I want to hear about it. These black men ain't taking care of their kids. They don't want to be married. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. Yeah, right. In months and months and months, you ain't heard some woman call in and talk about, oh my God, he was going upside my head. We had to live in the shelter. And it's always something. I left him. I don't know why I left him, man. I just had the kids and he taking money. This is when I get upset when I hear women on other platforms talking about he's telling these women to go back into these abusive situations and go back to because I know that it's more likely not the truth. Because I know that most of these women are lying, over exaggerating, embellishing, making their situations sound far more horrible than they are to make themselves look good. To the women that say that kind of stuff, you just show that you don't know how to read women. And you shouldn't. Keep my name out your mouth because you're wrong. I mean, seriously. See, look, no, she's not looking for that. The problem is a lot of these women cannot admit when they screwed up. I made a mistake. No. Just admit you made a mistake. You were out here trying to level up and you blew up a situation. No, she's not why marriage is impossible. That is bullcrap, Jason White. All right, well, I got to get up out of here. That was long. That was long, but that was well worth it. I'm like, and guys, I will stand on it. Why I didn't let you guys call in because more people wanted to hear that than hear y'all talk about. Even if you were right about something, guys, come on. But if you're going to be a man calling on to the show, please put your best foot forward. Because as it stands right now, videos are doing like 40, 50,000 views in a week. I'm not going to have you up on the screen looking like you just played a game of pickup basketball. Not going to have it. Thank you guys for tuning in. I wanted to do this broadcast because so many of you have asked about this Christian feminism thing. And see, the thing is, to the sister that just called, yes, I get frustrated with stuff like that because I heard many women sit there in the church and leave their husbands, leave their perfectly functional situation for the hopes of possibly doing something better. And then they leave their husbands, like this last caller, left their husband, then turn around and hover over a helicopter parent their kids, and then tell the world that it's so hard to be a shout out to the single mother. Remember that woman, the caller? Yeah. Turn around and tell everybody the woes of being a single mother, and you don't need to be a single mother. The fact that you just were too difficult, what that woman would have been better off doing is going to get some therapy and learning how to be a better husband, a better wife, and a better helpmate to her husband. Other than trying to go out here and try to find somebody to complete her or fulfill her. She had a job to do. She had a wife's job, she had a mother's job, she had a helpmate's job, and she had a Christian woman's job. And she scrapped the ones that really mattered. And see, society has allowed women like this to go along and sympathize with them. Because you're not supposed to question. When she says it's so hard to be a single mother, you're not supposed to say anything. Believe all women. And we've allowed this stuff to just go on and on and on. And then look at what we got. Broken families everywhere. That's a family, according to the way she told her story, that did not have to be broken. That should have been a success story. You married your high school sweetheart. You married your high school sweetheart and you didn't have to work and you had 3 children. But it's like we got to break our shit in order to realize, well, you know what? It should be different. It should be better. This is why I say so many of us need therapy, man, because we sabotage our own success. You know? It's not marriage's problem. Rich and wealthy men marry, divorce, and remarry in the current economic and legislative climate. What do they know and understand about marriage that single, middle class, and lower upper class black men and black women don't? They understand that in order to build and jump your way into the next category, marriage is the vehicle. That your 70 and your 75 and her 40 puts you in another tax bracket. Not paying rent here and here instead of paying a mortgage, and learning how to deal with each other instead of always thinking that life is about you and you should be happy. And no. Anyway, all right. And see, what we're starting to have happen now is we're starting to have more people like the first caller, good, solid, well-meaning sisters who just got things a little wrong, a little off, or missed in translation, and looking up and they're 32 years old and I'm like, man, and the first caller gives me hope. And like Sister Tiff, she's even willing to have the conversation. You can work with people who are willing to have the conversation. What you can't work with is people who just basically ain't none of this stuff perfect. We're all jacked up and screwed up, but without family, without couples, you can't get anything. It's going to be messy. It's going to be ugly. For the people who want to deal with it. But I got to really ask you, for whatever track you're on, man or woman, most of you can say it when you're young right now. Especially a lot of young guys. Man, nah. You don't, no, bro. It's not in men's nature to want to live and die by himself. It's just not in our nature. That's not how we're evolved. And the computer and the cell phone and bandwidth has not changed who we are. I'll take a few more calls. I'll go to midnight, man, because this is important. I'm only going to go with people who really got something to. Yeah, I'm not trying to. I got guys calling in. Guys, I'm not. No, just not going to talk to any guys. Not, especially not guys in ball caps and t-shirts. Just no. No, thank you. I'm going to tell you this as it goes forward. If you call into the show as a man, please at least look presentable. I'm tired of seeing grown men dressed like little boys. You don't have to be in a suit. I don't expect you to be in a suit, but I do expect you to at least be in a button-up. You should not have a hat on in the house. I expect the area you to be in is decent. I don't expect you to be sitting on your unmade bed in your fucking gym socks. If you can't respect the platform, don't expect to come in my house. You couldn't come in my house that way. And I wouldn't come to your house that way. And lastly, you may think it's out, women don't take you, no one's going to take you seriously. And it's time out. Men, 25 or over, actually 23 or over, time to grow up. 18 to 23, you can do all that. 24 is your transition. 25, it's time. All right. I hope this is beneficial. I really don't want to touch this topic anymore. It's too sensitive. It's rather taxing. This week, we are going to discuss the younger women 25 and under, women 18 to 25. That's a completely different program. But then we're going to have to do that danger zone show. What do women 27 to 35 plus, 27 to 35, what do you do if you're a woman like the first caller and you find yourself here right now? And how do you get out of there? I am not writing those women off. A lot of people may say it, but that's cool. That's for them. I don't write those women off. Though, what do you do from 27 to 35? That's a different show from 18 to 25. Those are the shows that are going to come up this week. What do you do? We're also going to have a show for men this week. The title will be dropping later, but it's still going to be involving a high standard. I cannot hear that you're broke as a man and you're only working 40 hours. I don't listen to broke men. I've worked my butt off since I was 14 years old. And see, as a man, you can say you don't like me, you don't like whatever, but you cannot. Work will shut a lot of people up, even if they don't like your work. What does your work look like? Are you competitive out here? The burden of you want women to act a certain way? All right, are you ready for it? That's going to be the topic. That's what we're going to talk about with men. All right, you want women to be feminine, beautiful, inspirational. All right, you want them to be gidget. All right, you want them to be high value ready. Okay, great. You want a high value woman? Are you ready to wife her? Are you ready to wife her? Now, are you ready to sit down and talk to her and have a freaking conversation with her and vet her? No. Are you ready to walk her? Are you in the 6 months or, oh, that's it. Are you in the 6 month or under club? Because I hear all these people talk about, oh, I'm in 6 months. You have to vet somebody for longer than that's bull freaking toast. No, you don't. It's a bunch of freaking loser talk. You in 6 months you can find out everything you can find out in 2-3 years. You're wanting guarantees. See, and that's what a lot of women are trying to. That's what a lot of women are edging against. And I'm gonna tell you right now, high value men's are going to push just high value men do that with their daughters. They're going to vet you. If a man has a Gidget for a daughter or has a Hillary for a daughter, he's going to ask you, all right, what do you do? What are your plans? What's your blood type? Give me a DNA sample. He's going to want to know all that too. And see if you truly are who you say you are, you shouldn't have any problem. You should be happy when you get that kind of question. When you got to sit down and talk to the virtual father, oh yeah, that's going to be the subject. That's going to be the subject. Are you 6 months or less? Are you really ready for the heat? Are you one of these dudes that just want to play with high value women? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, we're gonna cross 100,000 subscribers this week. Thank you to all the patrons to make the channel possible. Appreciate you guys. I made a few new people moderators. Thank you to the people who watch the channel and consistently come back into support. This is really not something I look for, but it's something that needs to be happening right now. So that's what we're going to do. Again, this is not about me as a person. This ain't about Kevin. You gonna have a hard order to go to hear me talking anything crazy. See, notice you ain't seen no stories popping up. Yeah, Kevin, out here sleeping with his subscribers and doing this and doing that. Mm-mm. None of that. If you ever hear any kind of salacious stories about me, oh yeah. You better, yeah, lie. I handle this like a business. And right now, apparently, I'm what's needed right now. But it does not just need to be about me. It's about us. It's about you guys. The Henrys out there. Hey, Brad. A lot of people are saying, look, Brad is welcome on the platform. Lee is welcome on the platform. And Med's welcome on the platform. So is Enike. Oh, that's another show this week. There are a lot of non-black women who have been emailing. There are a lot of non-black women who want to talk on this subject. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not trying to put any fear, but I don't know how many, if y'all hear the women who aren't necessarily from the neighborhood to call in. I've been kind of pushing that show off. Conversely, I don't have a show where a lot of guys are trying to. Ooh, that's going to be a touchy subject. How do I want to end this? We talk about black folks. Black women, right now, you have an opportunity. You still have it at bat. Brothers are still listening. A lot of them may be upset, cautious, or whatever. I hear a lot of people talk about, you got people in your chat room that this and that. You're here. I can't control who's in the chat room. But I will tell you that the people I listen to are the people who are my patrons, my clients that pay the bills. And what I hear them saying is they want wives. They want children. They want legacy and family. They want the normal stuff. And a lot of these guys, the majority of these guys are saying they want it from women that look like you, but they're getting tired of all the back and forth. Can we just get some cooperation? That's it. And you got other groups of women kind of, come on, bring them over. What do y'all want? What do y'all want? Because it's up to each one of you to figure it out. But unlike what Tiff was talking about, there is a clock on this, ladies. You do run out of time. And when time is over, you don't get another chance. So I was telling the last caller, you don't deserve another shot. The video I did, you likely have already met your perfect man and you blew it. That was real. I don't know why you ladies continue to think you can just get man after 2 or 3 good men in your life and that you don't run out of good men. No, you have ammunition is limited. That's why if you're a younger woman, don't blow these opportunities with good men or suitable men, because you're finding that when you get older that there are none left. There's no more ammunition. You're out. All right, man, I got to get up out of here. Life show is over. We're going to end out with a little bit of music. Thank you guys for tuning in. Till the next time, peace out. Thank you to the callers. Previous show. Be nice to those people. I don't want anybody going on anybody's channel, trolling them, or being rude. If I find that people on my channel are going to other people's channels, I'll block you from this channel. Don't go over there being rude to people. Let people be who they are. Coming up is the 100,000 subscriber. I don't know if it's a makeover. It's gonna be something cool that I'm gonna do for men, cool I'm gonna do for women. I'm gonna take somebody out of the audience and make the magic happen. Francis Kirkjohn, Long Mile Rose. Woo, that's some good schnit. Let's see if we can get the close-up. Close-up time. Alleganza McDaddy. We get to choose, people. Life is only over when you decide to give up. Your choice. Shout out to my brother Minister Jap. I saw you on Sinetta's channel the other day out in Harlem representing. Shout out to brother Sinetta. That was good stuff. The Roommates podcast stuff did really, really well. That was good. Hopefully we'll be doing much more of that and other collaborations with other content creators, especially with other sisters, other black women from around YouTube and Instagram. The future is yours, folks. CIA, FBI, we're out.